As a Sunrisers family, our purpose and commitment is to challenge all forms of discrimination on and off the field.
We are equal and we are united.
Suffolk,
Norfolk,
Cricket East,
Northamptonshire,
Essex,
Middlesex,
Cambridgeshire, Hertfordshire,
We are Sunrisers.
Opening the bowling from the Hayes Close end, Phoebe Graham. Now Mintani was bowled by Jenny Gunn for 1.
First official win, and it was a sort of sigh of relief for the club, for the region, having notched up their win. So for me, the Northern Diamonds are in a very dark navy blue, darker than navy blue, and the Sunrisers are in sort of black with a little bit of, I suppose, orange or maybe gold, if you want to call it, and that is their numbers and a bit of trim. So congratulations to Jenny Gunn, who's just come on and with her second delivery captures a wicket, bowling to another left-hander, and it's Scrivens who's waiting, bat on the floor, now it's aloft, one, and she bowls in, comes in and bowls and is played into the leg side, off the pads, there is no run. So 15 for 1. What would you have done tonight if you were playing and you were captaining? Would you have fancied chasing under lights, or would you rather set?
Good question. I think it all depends what your team strengths are.
There's an LBW shout and she's been given, and Scrivens goes without scoring, and it's a super over here from Jenny Gunn. She got a wicket second ball and now she's got a wicket fourth ball, and to be brutally honest, all she's done is bowled pretty straight, and she's got an LBW in her favour. Scrivens goes without scoring, and now Sunrisers 15 for 2.
They're a bit under the pump now, aren't they? Losing 2 quick wickets. They need a bit of a batting partnership. 2 players that will spend a bit of time at the crease to build a total that they can defend.
Just the one women's game tonight in the Charlotte Edwards Cup, the 20 over T20. Here at Chelmsford, you're listening to Carla Rudd, Nick Gledhill and Don Topley, BBC Essex, bringing you live ball-by-ball commentary of this fixture at the Cloud FM County Cricket Club, and we're delighted to be bringing you the live action, and there has been some action. 15 for 2, the 2 wickets to go down have been in this over, and it's now Maddie Villiers who's come to the crease, 2 balls left from being possibly a double wicket maiden. In she comes. She bowls and she's played out to short third man. They look for a quick single. Super bit of fielding and good keeping as well. You would expect that, as yes, the ball was played with an open face back down to short third man, but it was returned with a bit of pace, and Villiers couldn't get off the mark. Well bowled, Jenny Gunn for her last ball the over. She bowls nice and straight. There's another LBW appeal, but this time the umpire does not give it. She simply calls over, and as I just suggested, Jenny Gunn has just bowled an amazing double wicket maiden.
That third one was close as well, I think. I'd be having a look back at their live stream to see how close it actually was, but good shout to, go up for another LBW.
Fantastic shout, but as we used to say, look in the book.
Definitely.
It's a simply dot ball, but what a cracking over. Listen, there's no rocket science there, is it? What has she done?
She's just bowled at the stumps. Nice and simple, really, if you're a bowler. I'm not a bowler, so...
But you say you're not a bowler, but as a batsman, you're under extreme pressure. What you're happy with, even in a T20, is just allow one go past. In comes Graham for the second over. This time it's played back to the bowler. There is no run. Sensible cricket from McLeod. She's on 13. Villiers has 0 and the score 15 for 2.
Started the over off well there. Again, like you said, just targeting the stumps.
She stands, concentrates and comes in, bowls just short of her length, but I have to say I do believe McLeod has just come slightly at the ball there a little bit, which is fine, and plays it well, respects it well, and it was a good ball, therefore it's a valuable dot ball.
McLeod is quite a proactive batter, so she won't let the bowler just bowl at her.
Ring of 4 on the offside. She bowls, this is into the air, and she's been dropped at extra cover. Oh dear, how costly will that be? She's bowled the ball, has Graham, and it's been forced off the back foot, but she's gone at it just a little bit early. She's gone out in front of her, and she's ballooned it to extra cover, who, amazing, has put it down. Could it be costly?
I think it could be costly.
In she comes Graham. Bowls, bit of swing, well bowled indeed, outside off stump, went a little further, playing a miss, through to the keeper, no run.
Yeah, it just seems like Lissy McLeod sort of changed her mind, didn't put her hands through that last one. Sort of a half-hearted shot that could have cost her her wicket.
Graham on her way in from the Hayes close end, bowls. Good delivery, and it's been caught and bowled on the second attempt. I have to say, once again, she's had her life, has McLeod, this over, but this time she's forced it, played it early again, so she's hit it in the air. She's sort of reached for the ball, and she's hit it back quite nicely at Graham on a follow-through. And Graham on a follow-through has parried it once and then caught the rebound. And I have to say, she was very cricket aware. Great catch. She may have dropped the first attempt, but she clung on to the second, and she's got herself a caught and bowled Graham. McLeod goes for 13, and the score from 15 for 2 is 15 for 3.
Excellent recovery there from Graham. As you said, she dropped the first attempt, but the parry, she dived to take that one-handed, so great catch in the end.
It was super bit of cricket from her, decent delivery. Interesting for me whether the wicket's going to be a little challenging. I've just commented twice. McLeod, okay, she may have reached for the ball a couple of times. Now, from a technical point of view, that's something she's going to work on. Or Carla, was the wicket, is it a little bit awkward to bat on and force the pace, certainly off the back foot? Anyway, new Amara Carr comes to the wicket, the captain, who drives, plays with a open face back, goes out to backward point, and that is the end of an eventful over. Can I just comment again? It's a wicket maiden, not a double wicket maiden, just a boring single wicket maiden.
I think the batters now really need to assess the situation, realise that these two just need to spend a bit of time at the wicket.
Having seen the last over, you know, the captain, the guys at the ladies at the crease might go to themselves and say, hang on, it's going to be a little bit more difficult than we think. So Gunn starts the second. There's an LBW shout. Certainly the wicketkeeper is interested, but the umpire isn't. and it becomes a valuable dot ball, still 15 for 3.
Great pressure here from Diamonds. They're really going up for everything, loud in the field, putting the Sunrisers under pressure here.
Away from us, Jenny Gunn goes in, and it's into the leg side. Sensible shot, 1 run, all the way out to deep square leg, where there is a fielder beneath the pavilion here at Chelmsford, square of the wicket. Lights are on, lovely evening. Hope you're enjoying the coverage of the Charlotte Edwards T20 Cup. With myself, Don Topley, Nick Ledhill and Carla Rudd. As Jenny Gunn moves away from us, bowls angled in into the leg side, goes straight to the fielder at mid-wicket. There is no run. So, Carla, Felsted.
Yep, final day today it was. We've broken up for the summer term now. So I've got a long and nice summer break ahead of me.
And the Vipers.
The Vipers, yep.
Rudd's in, bowls, driven into the leg side, forces it with a big bottom hand. There is one sensible run to Amara Carr. She's up and running. She has 1, Villiers 1, and the score 17 for 3. So, Vipers haven't got a game tonight, clearly. How have you been doing the team first?
Yeah, we've had a really good start to the Rachel Hayhoe Flint Trophy. I believe we're top of the table for that.
Oh, good shot there. Forceful. Very good shot. It breaks through the fielder, goes for 4 to the Rivers stand. That was a super timed shot by Villiers. Villiers has been involved with the England setup, but omitted her, is that would be fair to say, hence why she's here?
Yeah, she's been allowed to come back and play for the Sunrisers. She hasn't been involved in the England games recently.
Good shot that was. Villiers on 5, Gunn bowls. This is in to the leg side, slightly fortuitous. It's all gone all the way down to sort of fine leg, where they take a sensible, easy single for Villiers for 6, and Carr is on strike on 1. Score now 22 for 3. In fact, it's the end of the over. So we've now had five overs completed, which is the end of me. And if you would like to continue, even have a ball of commentary before, you'll be joined by Nick Ledhill of BBC Essex.
Okay, thank you. So we've got Graham back onto bowl. Sarah Taylor is standing back. That was better from Sunrisers, that over. They look to rotate the strike. Start to build a partnership, hopefully. In comes Graham. Oh, and that is pulled down the leg side, and that is 4 runs scored to Villiers. Great shot there. It was slightly short and slightly down the leg side, but picked up well.
Yeah, hi Carla, and well, there's much needed runs, because what we'd had basically a couple of overs in which they got completely stuck. Wickets had fallen, and they just need some sort of release. And Villiers, who got important runs last week, I think is going to be key here to give the Sunrisers some sort of platform. She's on 10, Carr has 1, and we're in the 6th over. It's a pleasant enough evening here, and Graham up to the wicket bowls, and that one is popped back to her, and it's caught and bowled. Now that might have been a leading edge, I think. He was trying to work it away through the onside, but maybe a bit of extra bounce. It's just popped back. It's a fairly simple return catch, and now the Sunrisers are in quite a lot of trouble here. 26 for 4 in the 6th over, and that's a really big wicket.
It is. She has looked to play that a bit square, caught the leading edge, and then a simple catch really for Phoebe.
Not what Sunrisers wanted, having got that victory last week, of course, in the first round of games. And well, the Northern Diamonds very much on course here at the moment. You feel that they'll be very pleased with how this is panning out. Jenny Gunn, really quite devastating. I mean, with all her international experience, and just looked a little bit too much of a handful. So they're going to have to find a way of seeing her off. But 4 wickets down now really does put the Sunrisers under a lot of pressure. Got some spectators in at the far end, at the Hayes Close end. Nobody in at the Tom Pearce, the river end of the ground, but the Hayes Close end, we've got a good sprinkling of spectators who've come in on these fairly pleasant conditions, actually, given what we've been used to recently with the Chelmsford matches, where it's invariably been not the nicest of weather. And the question now is whether the Sunrisers can find a way out of this situation. We've got a slip in, and so that's almost edged through. First delivery for Castle, Kelly Castle, the captain, playing at that, and very fortunate not to get an edge through to Sarah Taylor. And we must mention Sarah Taylor, who had that problem with concussion. Great to see her. I must admit, I never thought I'd actually see a live match with Sarah Taylor here at Chelmsford, but it's great to see her out there. And I'll just ask you about her in a moment. It's a lovely delivery. It's just pitching round about off stump and bringing Castle forward into the stroke and just leaves her. And this has been some excellent bowling after that one expensive second over. Really, the Northern Diamonds have absolutely been on top here and have been really restraining the runs and of course taking wickets as well. We've got a slip in, backward point cover, extra cover mid off, mid on, mid wicket, and a deep square leg on the boundary, and misses a nice looking drive but goes straight out to backward point. And still the shackles very much on the Sunrisers, not able to break through. 26 for 4 with 2 wickets apiece to Gunn and Graham after the Sunrisers were put in by the Northern Diamonds in this second round of the second game for these two sides. So this is the only game that's actually going on tonight, with a lot more to follow in the women's T20 competition. Here's a beautiful delivery roundabout off stump. It draws Castle into a flamboyant off drive, but she plays and misses, and she was quite fortunate to survive there. Just needs to settle down. 2 new players at the crease, Castle and Carr. 26 for 4 after 6. They were on 15 after 2 overs, so Gunn and Graham really have caused problems. Gunn 2 for 7 in 2 overs and Graham 2 for 17 in 3. Well, Sarah Taylor, she must be a huge influence for you as someone you would have admired, I guess, growing up.
Definitely. As a Sussex player myself, she was, the Sussex women's wicketkeeper, but also the England wicketkeeper. She was definitely someone I looked up to. And she's also a really genuinely nice girl, nice lady. She was always very supportive, helpful.
Lovely to hear. So, and arguably one of the best known names ever, really, in the English women's game. McLeod coming on to bowl, and that's just medium pace. An attempt to work the ball away through the offside from Carr isn't successful, so 26 for 4. The Sunrisers a little bit stranded after a deceptively bright start. McLeod with a couple of boundaries in that second over. Things were looking quite good at that point, but has to be said that the Northern Diamonds have really been dominant since that. It was that double wicket maiden from Jenny Gunn that was a turning point. Here's one was just floated up on off stump and a quick single, and that's good, sensible cricket, because they've got to rotate the strike here, make sure that the scoreboard keeps ticking over, and that was a sensible shot from Carr, just down the ground for 1, just to rotate the strike and to give the strike back to Kelly Castle, who's yet to get off the mark. 27 for 4 for Sunrisers after they were put into bat. We're in the 7th over. Again, that's just floated up on off stump, medium pace, and driven up to mid off, and there's no run. So, Sarah Taylor in the Northern Diamond side, and Jenny Gunn, I guess, another of the very well-known players in that team. And certainly Gunn has made a big impression already. Alex McDonald is the medium pace bowler from the River End, and here's another good delivery on off stump, which just beats the attempted back cut and goes through to Taylor, standing up to the stumps. Floodlights taking effect, but we've got some nice blue sky, little bits of cotton wool cloud, but it's a really pleasant evening. It's been quite a warm day, actually, a bit more than perhaps was forecast. It's just a shame it's not going to last for too long in terms of the weather, but let's hope that forecast is a little bit better than has been suggested for the weekend, as McDonald bowls again. That's played away nicely past the square leg umpire for a single. So I think just trying to rotate the strike, aren't they? They've got to stop losing wickets to start with and just try and build a platform, these two.
They have. They need a batting partnership here between these two. They need to think about low risk, sensible shots. Yeah,
and that's certainly the way they're going about it at the moment. So they just need to settle down and build a platform. because I think the Diamonds at the moment will be confident of perhaps bowling the Sunrisers out for a double-digit score the way this is going. As McDonald again just floating that up on off stump, and just attempt to run it down past short third man, isn't successful. That was a nice over, just 2 runs off it. So she concedes 2 from her first over. Castle has 1 and Carr has 2, and the Sunrisers are 28 for 4 after 7 overs, and all the damage really done in that third over when Jenny Gunn had a double wicket maiden, and well, it's going to take quite a lot of recovering from, and they've got to try and find a way of doing so.
Kelly Castle and Amara Carr are 2 experienced players, so if any girls can do it, these 2 can. You've just got to get their brains together, come up with a plan on how they're going to go about and do this.
Yes, certainly a lot of work to do at the moment. They'll be hoping of just a way out of this difficult situation to try and post some sort of a competitive score which will give them a chance. Armitage with some spin bowls, and that's driven away nicely up towards deep cover. And 1 run, and Sarah Taylor gets a really awkward return throw there, which she's not best pleased about, because I think she was looking to shield her eyes from the sun, and she got a throw very much at sort of. Now, you as a keeper wouldn't have liked that.
No, the sun and the lights are the issue, so we need to bounce throws in, please.
We've had some fun actually here with the seats to the left, the public seats in white. And fielders trying to take catches with empty stands there have had problems with the white ball. Oh, Armitage a full toss, and that's just driven up towards cover. And they almost thought of a run out there because the non-striker was looking to come down the pitch. There wasn't a run there, but that was very, very much floated up. And interesting delivery. So Armitage with some off-spin bowling from the Hayes close end. As she bowls again, it's another full toss, and it's a sweep, and it goes away down towards fine leg, and they've got 1. Oh, it goes through the fielder and goes for 4. So the short boundaries here, of course, for the women's T20, and so there's a lot of potential 1s or 4s. And I thought that was going to be a 1, but it was a misfield down the boundary, and that's just what the Sunrisers need, really, a little bit of a gift, because that was, and it's 4 extra runs to the total, which will help them in this situation, and just boost their score a little bit with that misfield. Scoreboard hasn't updated, but I make it 33 for 4 as Armitage comes in to bowl again, and again floats it right up, and it's played backward square on the offside. They go through for a quick single. Nice one-handed take from Sarah Taylor there from backward point, and they get through for 1. A lot of traffic noise about, which is typical of Chelmsford on a Friday evening. And there's helicopters as well, which is not absolutely typical. It's rather more unusual. Armitage again, it's a very full length delivery. I think it gets to her on the full. She just clips it round the corner, Castle, and gets a single. So they are able to rotate the strike. That 4 was really handy, and a couple of singles since. 35 for 4 now in the 8th over, which is a better over for the Sunrisers. I wonder, Don's going to have a look at that helicopter, because as I say, we're used to ambulance sirens, but not so much to helicopters, as this is played off the back foot and goes past backward point down to deep cover, and they get a single. So not a bad over that at all, actually, that one from Holly Armitage, because it just released the pressure a little bit. It's given the Sunrisers just a bit of a breathing space after those very difficult overs where Gunn and Graham were so much in control. And the Sunrisers are 36 for 4 after 8 overs, and well, there's a police operation going on according to Don. Let's hope it doesn't involve anybody on the ground. 36 for 4 after 8 overs, Castle 3 and Carr 8.
Yeah, that was really
Hopefully
good.
you make yourself heard, Carla.
Yeah, that was really good cricket there from Amara Carr, and Kelly Castle just, playing the leg spin, low risk cricket. This is what they need right now.
So McDonald's going to continue with her medium pace. Just a hint of a little bit of pressure release from obviously Gunn and Graham, particularly Jenny Gunn. So we're out of the power play. This is just run down into the offside between backward point and cover, and there's going to be a single there for Carr, takes it to 9, and the score goes along to 37 for 4. So say Southern Vipers not playing tonight. We had a nice comfortable victory at Taunton, actually. It was Edgbaston, wasn't it? Yeah, against the Central Sparks last time out. They only made 85. as McDonald bowls, and that's driven without timing up towards mid-on, but again another single, and these two doing a good job just to steady the ship and just make sure the Sunrisers bat the 20 overs, which has got to be their intention, and see what they can get. 38 for 4 on the 9th. So you didn't get a go with the bat last week because there was not too many runs to knock off in the end as McDonald bowls, and that's just played off the back foot down towards backward point. They get another single, so good placement, meaning that there's another single onto the total. And I see that Danny White got 45 for the Southern Vipers last week.
Yeah, she's having
very good.
A really good season so far. She's done a good job for us at the Vipers in the top order.
The question is, are the Vipers going to be as good in the T20 as they have been in the 50 overs?
We hope so.
That's going to be the thing, isn't it? As McDonald bowls, and that's a slightly back of a length one just for once, and a very good piece of execution here from Castle, because unlucky not to get a 2. There are not too many 2s on the ground because of the short boundaries, but she spotted that and just a lap sweep down towards deep backward square leg, but again just the 1. 40 for 4. And we've had a run of singles in this over, but just a hint, Carla, of the pressure just being released a little bit, and these two steadily accumulating.
Yeah, now the power play is over with 4 out. There are a lot more single options, and these two at the crease are taking them.
So here's McDonald again, just floating it up on off stump, and attempt to run that down past short third man, doesn't succeed. They've tried that, I think Carr's tried to play that twice actually, the stroke past short third man, which will go possibly for a boundary if she can get it past, but hasn't quite managed to just find that gap, which is what she's looking for. Maybe she just needs to try and play a bit squarer between the short third and the backward point. Got a deep cover on the boundary and a long on deep square leg, and this is again just played this time square into the offside. They go through for a quick single, and in fact a slight misfield and misthrow, but I suppose in the last over of the game they would have been going for a second there, but they decide on percentages that they can't afford to lose another wicket at this point with a risky overthrow run. That's probably a reasonable decision, but these two continue this good little recovery. Castle 5 and Carr 11. Sunrisers put in 41 for 4 on BBC Essex. And Carla Rudd from the Southern Vipers, Don Topley and myself, Nick Gledhill on this, by Chelmsford standards this season, quite a rather pleasant Friday evening with no threat of thunder and lightning or any other storms. It's quite nice actually for a change. We've not been lucky.
I think we've got to change a bowler here. Another leggy. I think this is Levitt coming on.
Yeah, and so plenty of spin to be seen in the competition. It's Katie Levick to bowl. Oh, and again tossed right up, and interesting action there. Again, attempt just to glide that down past short third man, but again that shot not working for Carr at the moment. She's deliberately playing it, trying to get it past short third man, but she doesn't quite manage to do so so far. She's still practicing it, but this time she goes on with sweeps. The Pilfield BW given out. She went across her crease there to a straight ball to try and sweep it, but in the opinion of the umpire, that was going on to hit leg stump, and that promising little partnership comes to an end at 41 for 5 now, and Levick strikes with her second ball. It was on leg stump. She attempted the sweep but missed it, and in the opinion of the umpire, that was going on to hit. So disappointment there for the Sunrisers, just when they were building a little bit of a platform to lose that 5th wicket at this stage. They're 41 for 5 in the 10th over.
Yeah, unfortunately that's not a needed wicket by the Sunrisers. Mara Carr was looking good at the wicket, so Diamonds will be pleased to get rid of her. Another wicket for Levick. She is the leading wicket taker in the women's county cricket game.
Right, so a danger for the Sunrisers. Started by the Prodigy. I wonder if they're all choosing their intro music or something like that. But I hear that Neil Diamond is still amazingly in vogue with his singing it at the World Cup, Sweet Caroline. Over 50 years old that now, and it's still as popular as ever. And doubtless we'll hear it during the 100 when that comes up as well. We'll probably hear it in every game. Don's not looking too enthusiastic about that, as this is played up into the offside, and there's no run with Gardner, the new batter, taking strike, and now looking to build his partnership with Castle. So try and get to, well, certainly a 3-figure total, and get up to something like 130 would be pretty impressive from here, but they're a long way out from doing that. Little push shot into the offside. That's a sensible stroke, because it was played with no power out towards backward point, and actually had the time to get through for the run there. So that was just a little push shot and a straightforward run, which managed to accrue. Jo Gardner gets her account up and running, and strikers with Kelly Castle, who just pushes forward to his next delivery, just in the end just traps it on the crease, and it just goes back to the bowler, courtesy of Sarah Taylor coming round from behind the stumps. Pleasant evening, floodlights on, and there's some spectators in at the Hayes close end. The miss is hit, a little bit uppishly, but it goes and stopped at square cover, because an awkward bounce there. It was well fielded, and to get through for 1 run. That's a blow for the Sunrisers, losing that 5th wicket, and nicely bowled there, Katie Levick, 1 for 2 in her first over. So Sunrisers are 43 for 5 after 10 overs, and just get your thoughts on where we are in the game and what sort of total you think the Sunrisers might be able to get, and then we'll bring back Don Topley.
Well, it's not the start that the Sunrisers would have hoped for. They will need to rebuild. These two need to spend some time at the crease. 10 overs is still a good amount of time. They would definitely be looking to get over that 100 mark. With these two staying at the crease, maybe 120, 130. But these two are crucial to the Sunrisers here.
I've seen Gardner score runs in the Rachel Hayhoe Flint. It's going to be the left arm spin of Smith who opened the bowling. She bowls. It's played with an open face bat out to short third man. They think about the single but rightly turn it down. And there is a valuable dot ball, 43 for 5. Yeah, I don't know how they're going to eke out every single run for the remainder of this innings. Smith bowls again, and there's an edge. It goes down to third man and just outside of the 30-metre circle where they take the single, well fielded by short third man, and it's moved to 44 for 5. What has been so impressive for me, Carla, at the moment is the seamers bowled so straight, including was it McDonald who bowled nice and tight? As Smith bowls a little straighter, maybe a little bit of turn, the left armour there is no run.
Yeah, I think the bowler's plans would be as much as possible to target the stumps, always keep them in play as much as possible.
Smith again bowls, gives it a bit of air, hits on the full toss out to extra cover. There is no run. So as a keeper, 27 years old, am I right?
You are, yeah.
You've broken 1 or 2 fingers yet, or
well,
you've been fortunate?
I think I've been fortunate. I've definitely caught a few on the end.
Smith bowls, and it's driven powerfully. They take a single to mid-off, and it's a good throw, direct throw, but she was well past the line. Good cricket there all round. Good batting, good fielding, and Castle moves to 7, Gardner on 2. So you've been fortunate so far.
I have been fortunate. I've definitely dislocated a few, but I haven't actually gone to A&E for any scans. So
good to hear.
Hopefully that continues.
Can I ask you who's been your heroes in the Smith bowls, and they've gone outside off stump, tried to slog sweep. It's I think it is come off the bottom edge of the bat, hits the pad, goes down to third man. They take a quick single, 46 for 5. Who's your sort of heroes with the gloves then? This young lady?
Yeah, Sarah Taylor has always been someone I've been looking up to. I started cricket around age 10 in school. I went through the Sussex age group, so yeah, Sarah Taylor was obviously in the Sussex women's side, so she was the one I looked up to, spoke to for advice.
And she gave it?
She did.
It's going to be Levick who bowls, and this time goes out to backward point where they do take a quick single. Good cricket from Castle and Gardner. Castle gets a single. She goes to 9. Gardner on 2. Score 47 for 5. Not forgetting we're in the 12th over. Levick bowls again. A decent delivery, well respected, played out to the boundary, but there is a boundary fielder out beneath the pavilion, so that is simply just the 1 run. Super delivery, bit of spin, straight on a length by Levick.
Really good running from these two.
Levick again, right arm over the wicket, gives her a little bit of room, and there could be an edge, as she gave herself a little room, did Castle, and unfortunately she's got a feather edge to Taylor, who takes a super catch, a catch that you would be impressed, Carla Rudd, and another wicket falls, 48, I think it is, for 6.
Great catch there from Sarah Taylor. Gave herself a large surface area there with her hands to enable us to take the little feather catch behind.
Yeah, super catch. I mean, they can deviate, but as you said, and rightly said, she gave herself a large area, had the hands open. So if it did hit another part of her finger, it probably could be scooped up, and it was. So I have to say, and I suppose in the world of if we could compare notes, my hero, I wasn't a wicketkeeper, but my hero dating back to when I was a young fella, I'm giving my age away, was a chap called Alan Knott. No, you're not
Not
quite
aware
sure.
of him, no.
Does your father like cricket?
Yeah, he used to play a bit, definitely.
Could you ask him for me and say
Okay.
to tell you about a chap called Alan Knott?
Alan Knott, okay.
Well, it's going to be Levick. It's got a wicket. She bowls a little straighter this time, and she fields on the leg side on a follow through. Well bowled, giving it a bit of air, so there's not a lot of pace to work with Levick's delivery. She bowls, driven nicely up to mid off. They take a quick single. The fielder's right-handed. It goes to her left-hand side, so it's an easy single. 49 for 6.
Yeah, the fielder there sitting on the ring, so that is a good option. I think Point's also sitting on the ring, so there are some singles in there.
Levick from the Hayes close end bowls a little shorter. It's outside the off stump. It's cut all the way out to the boundary fielder beneath the pavilion, where they take the single, and there should be a gentle bit of applause because they've made 50 runs at the end of the 12th over, and the best part of 42 minutes of play on this sun-drenched evening here at Chelmsford. Beautiful evening. Hope you're enjoying yourself, maybe in the garden, maybe in the car, maybe inside doing a bit of this and a bit of that, but you're welcome, and we're delighted to be able to bring you this BBC Essex ball by ball commentary, which is also being screened live ball by the Sunrisers website.
So Holly Armitage is back on. The leg spin.
1 over for 8 so far. She bowls short, wide, and it's cracked out to the boundary for a single. There is a scout on the offside boundary across the netting area here at Chelmsford. Goes all the way to the nets where the boundary is. We're playing on the what we would term pavilion side of the Cloud FM County Cricket Ground. Lights are on. Shadows slightly lengthening as Armitage comes in, bowls, and it's respected, nicely played off the back foot. Back to the bowler, there is a dot ball. 51 for 6, speed 1, and Gardner on 5. Armitage, right arm over the wicket, and again it forces off the back foot, down to mid-off. There's a good run. And she has a shied as mid-off, but it wasn't so close, but it probably hurts the hands of Armitage. But they get through for a valuable single. Well done, Speed. Well done, Gardner. Armitage, 3 or 4 strides. It's a full toss back over the bowler's head, and it's driven down the ground. And they collect 4 runs. It's the first boundary for quite some time. It was a full toss, but I have to say the batter Gardner, Joe Gardner, who's a very able golfer, they tell me. Very able.
I did not know that.
Yes, likes her golf, and she caresses it for 4. Armitage. Will she pitch it? She does. It's delicately cut. They take a quick single because it is very well played into the offside. And the fielder in the offside, there's a ring of 4, just couldn't stop it. It was good cricket awareness, played into the gap, and they took the single. 57 for 6.
Yeah, Lindsay Smith is tight in on that single, so they've run that well to get through.
Armitage gives it a bit of air. It's driven out through extra cover, mid-off, and extra cover can't stop it, and it goes for 4. So well played to the 2 Sunrise, and in particular speed for that shot. She goes to 6. Gardner's got 10. It was rather a costly over. Went for 11 runs. We haven't seen that too often in this Sunrisers innings, but well played to the home team. 61 for 6.
Levick back on again, so 2 leggies.
Lovely. Great to see. What a wonderful art. Very different leggies. This time it's driven quite full, but it goes and well fielded at mid-wicket, who dives across in the line of mid-on. I have to say that was well fielded, prevented a single.
Alex McDonald there, left-handed, clean pick-up.
This time it's bowled by Levitt. Levitt is driven all the way up to mid-on, deep mid-on, where there is a single. Score moves to 63 for 6.
Sensible cricket from these 2 at the crease, just hitting the sweepers, rotating the strike.
As it's bowled outside off stump, it's driven off the back foot, or perhaps cut really, with a cross-back shot out towards the boundary fielder at deep cover. 1 run, 64 for 6. Now, how are these ladies going to play, the Sunrisers here? How are they going to play? This is well bowled, a little quicker, a little straighter, gives herself a bit of room, does the right-handed Joe Gardner, but it is well fielded. It could have gone for 4, but it's well fielded, and they only take the single. So good fielding there this time by the by the Northern Diamonds.
Yeah, diving stop there by Jenny Gunn, saved a boundary.
Who did you play earlier in the week? Nick was
Central Sparks we played.
As this time it's driven on the up by Speed. Speed takes a quick single. They cross. Leverett concedes another run. She's getting close to completing her 3 overs. She's currently gone for 10. She's just 1 ball shy, but has 2 important wickets. She bowls again. Her last ball of the 3rd over. It goes between backward point dives. Gardner collects 4 as it races down the slope towards the what I call the sort of bus shelter area here at Chelmsford, where they're those sort of aluminium glass sort of where the players sit frequently, but they collect 4, so the score now moves to 69 for 6, and we've had 14 overs. Where was this innings going?
Well, it looks like the tides have turned slightly. A bit more momentum with the Sunrisers, rotating the strike really well, running well when the ball's in the circle, but also putting the bad ball to the boundary. So, you know, they've upped the run rate for sure. Jenny Gunn looks like she's back onto bowl.
2 overs, 2 for 7. She bowls. It's a little edge there, and it's going to beat 3rd man, and it goes to the boundary quite fine. There's no moral victory in T20, but you just have to say it was slightly fortuitous, but every run counts off any bit of the bat.
And if you're going to go for your shots, go for them, because, you know, it comes off the bat like that, it's going to run to the boundary.
Well, that spoils her figures. It's now 2.1 overs, 1 maiden, 2 for 11. It was 2 for 7, so 3rd man's gone back from the 30-metre circle all the way to the boundary, and there are 5 in the inner circle at the moment. This is driven out on the up. It goes all the way across the netting area towards the boundary, but it is stopped, and they just take a single 1 to Speed. Speed 13, Gardner 16, scores 74 for 6.
I like that they are changing the field for the different batters. So mid-on's dropped back now because Joe Gardner's a bit She likes to hit down the ground.
26 run partnership. There's not going to be able to hit. That's well fielded, but I have to say that's well hit. It was short of a length, and it was played back to backward point, who dives, parries it, and would you believe it, they take two. So listen, the ball was okay, it was just a little short and wide, but the shot was good, the fielding was good, and they collected two. 76 for 6. Gunn moves away from us, past the umpire, bowls, driven down the ground powerfully, well fielded, and there wasn't a single because the batsman, that was Joe Gardner, drove it powerfully, and it didn't allow her the time to take the single. Good bit of fielding, good cricket all round. The police helicopter's back. I think it's searching for a bloke called Nick Gledhill. Have you seen him anywhere?
What has he done? They've been hovering for a while, so it must be serious.
He's back on at the end of this over, as this is bowled by Jenny Gunn, played into the leg side. Sensibly they'll look for two, but they're only going to take the one, and that moves the score to 77 for 6, and that still has one over. Sorry, I thought that was concluding the 15th over. It's not.
Well attacked there from the boundary, because they haven't got a mid-wicket in, so there could sometimes be a 2, but that was attacked well and it was only a 1.
Jenny Gunn away, bowls, it's driven into the offside. They're going to take one. Good shot by Speed, but only one as it's fielded and thrown back in. So the score moved to 78 for 6. That's the end of me for this innings, and I shall leave you in the very capable hands of Carla Rudd and Nick Gledhill.
That helicopter is persistent above. So batter's just having a drink. Bowlers and captain discussing at the top of the run-up, discussing the field. It's like Phoebe Graham with Sarah Taylor discussing whether she'd stand up at the stumps or go back. Looks like she's going to be standing back.
I think we're going to get you a cup of tea.
Oh,
so
lovely.
Hopefully he'll get the right just what you want. That's the key thing. Now Graham 2 for 17. So it's this combination of Graham and Gunn, which caused all sorts of problems earlier on. But my word, haven't these two batted well? They really have, and it's just given the Sunrisers something to work with. Catherine Speed and Joanne Gardner, 14 and 19, 78 for 6, and. It's interesting looking at last week as Graham bowls on one on leg stump. It's a wide, and quite clearly a wide, well down leg side. And as soon as I come back on, we've got that helicopter noise again. I'm convinced it's done something to do with it, because every time that he goes off air, that starts again. No, we shall find out in due course, doubtless, but we've got the helicopter. We can't actually see the helicopter. We've got a helicopter noise over the ground. This is on a leg stump and just clipped away. Now, I wonder if that's off pad only. So it goes down. It's gathered in by Taylor, and one will go to a total, and it is, I think, just a leg by. So Sunrisers move along by 1, 80 for 6. But I see the Northern Diamonds lost a low-scoring game last time out. I think they were chasing about 118 and they lost, so that's a good sign for the Sunrisers, that perhaps if they get that sort of score.
Yeah, that was against Thunder, wasn't it?
Yeah, 106 for 9 they got, lost by 12, so that's just an indication that maybe if they can get something around about that, it could be threatening. And this is a good delivery, has to be said, from Graham, but well dug out, and Sarah Taylor, who's electric behind the stumps, she actually gets in ahead of the backward point and throws at the stumps, but there's no one to throw to because she's done the work. She misses the throw and they've got through for 181 for 6. So Gardner to 20, Speed has to strike on 14. Gunn 3 overs, 1 maiden, 2 for 16, but at one point it was 1 over, 1 double wicket maiden. And Graham has bowled well as well. Here's one that almost brings another wicket for her, because that's a loose drive from Speed without any foot movement, and that could easily be an edge through to Taylor, who's standing up. Graham 2 for 19 with now just a couple of deliveries left. She bowled the wide, so there'll be, I think, 3 more. 81 for 6, but she and Jenny Gunn, these two have been the key dangers so far for the Sunrisers. And here comes Graham again. Bowls, that's well pitched up, driven up into the covers, and there's no run. And I think the crowd who've come in, Carla, are quite enjoying the nice weather and the fact it's quite an absorbing contest. I think the Sunrisers look like they're going to make a bit of a game of it, which was in doubt early on.
Yeah, they've definitely pulled it back a bit, haven't they? These two here.
Yeah, it's been a really important partnership. Can they back through the 20 overs? That would really help them as Graham bowls. And this is a nice looking drive past the bowler. It's going to be stopped at mid-off, so there's not that many 2s and 3s with the short boundaries. But that was a nice stroke. Beat the bowler, but mid-off fielding made sure there was no more than 1. 82 for 6, speed 15.
Lovely strike there, actually. Phoebe tried to dive down to stop it, but wasn't quite quick enough because there was quite a bit of power behind the ball there. So
last ball from Phoebe Graham, who's bowled really well. Medium pace from the Hayes close end. Up to the wicket she bowls. That's driven. On the bounce, and well stopped at mid-off, because that was an awkward bounce. But we've generally seen some pretty good fielding in the inner ring from the Northern Diamonds, and that was a good example because that one bounced awkwardly. So speed 15, Gardner 20. This partnership which has really dug the Sunrisers out of a lot of trouble. It's a question now of can they add maybe another 35 runs, maybe even 40 if things went very well, but that might be too much of an ask with Jenny Gunn still having an over to go. But 82 for 6 looks a lot better than it was earlier.
Definitely with those wickets falling early on, they could have got a total that was easily they could have chased down easily, but they've pulled it back a bit.
Yeah, it was 15 for 3, 26 for 4, 48 for 6. So it just shows that it's been quite an improvement. Actually, we've seen some pretty good overs recently. Smith is going to bowl her left arm spin again, and that's driven nicely up towards long off by speed for what will be her 16th run. But we had that period of obviously a double wicket maiden and then another wicket maiden straight after that as Graham and Gunn took control. Then some fairly quiet overs in the middle, but generally we've had the last 4 overs have been quite profitable. This is hit uppishly up towards long on. Slight miscue, I think, but good enough to get through for a single. And they're continuing to accumulate the Sunrisers. 84 for 6, Gardner to 21. Speed on the strike with 16. Yeah, we had 15th over a bit quieter with Graham, just for 4. That's played with an angled bat up towards cover, but there's no run there. But they should be hopeful of getting past 100 and hopefully a reasonable way past with 3.5 overs to go.
Yeah, you would hope so with these two staying at the crease.
That's going to be key, isn't it? Now we've got 2 players in for the Sunrisers. This again hit uppishly. It seems to be a bit of a favourite shot of speed, making sure that it falls short of the long on and gets her a run. But effective in terms of rotating the strike. She goes to 17, 85 for 6 on BBC Essex.
Interestingly, they've moved Holly Armitage into the
Smith bowls, and again
position.
A drive this time up towards long on, this time along the ground, but they're milking this over for singles, and if these two can stay together it gives them a chance to be more expansive with 4 wickets in hand in those last couple of overs. 86 for 6. Smith again from the river end bowls, left arm spin, and again driven away this time along the ground up towards deep mid wicket, and again they will just be the 1 run because the short boundaries, as we mentioned earlier, mean that it's mainly 1s and 4s. You don't get many 2s, and I don't think we'll see a 3. That would be have to be very, very well placed. I don't think certainly haven't seen one so far. But the Diamonds have done well to cut down the runs. Just the occasional fielding lapse in the deep, but they have done pretty well on the whole. Speed 18 and Gardner 22. 3 overs to go, and the Sunrisers at 87 for 6.
The girls just grabbing a drink here. I'm sure they're quite thirsty, running between the wickets like they have.
Yes, it's a lovely warm evening, and I've been following these sort of long-range forecasts for July, and they were saying it was going to be a 2-week heat wave, and then they completely changed their mind and said that next week is looking pretty ropey, and a bit of a continuation of this week. But let's hope that it's something in between maybe, and we get some more settled weather than we've had in the second half of June. It's certainly been a bit of a contrast that last month, a lovely start, and then of course it fallen away. Well, actually Don's made a drink, and is this one for, obviously he's still getting one for her. Well, we'll see. Yeah, now 87 for 6, speed 18, and it's going to be Katie Levick with a 2 for 14 in 3 overs to bowl her final over of spin from the Hayes close end. 3 overs to go, and she bowls, and that's driven away nicely up to the bowler, and she parries it towards where a mid-on would be, and that allows them to scamper through for a single. 88 for 6. So these two have done a really good rebuilding job. Can they just find those boundaries that would be really handy to get this score up to about 115, as this one is hit nicely past the bowler up towards long on, gets through for another single. Gardner goes for 23, and it's been a very impressive innings from her, really rescuing the side when they were in an awful lot of trouble early on. She's found a valuable partner in Speed, who drives this up towards cover, and again there'll be no run.
Yeah, I'm sure the girls will be thinking about their boundary options. They've got them all out on the leg side, so maybe stand on leg stump.
Yep, Levick bowls, and that one's hit into a gap between backward point and cover, but there was a sweeper in front of the smaller scoreboard to our right, and that just allows them through for a single. I suspect the Diamonds will be happy just to concede singles and have a target of around about 105. I think the Sunrisers have got to try and find a way of getting that closer to, say, 115 if they can, as this is a delivery which in the end played with a slight change of mind, I think, by Gardner, and in the end she only just hit it square into the offside. This is turning out to be a good over from Katie Levick, just a 3 from it in the 18th over. She'll be very pleased with that as she bowls again, and this is lofted away down the ground up towards long on and over the boundary, and that's the boundary they wanted, and it's a 6, a straight 6 as well, and that's a really handy blow from Gardner at the end of the over, because they were getting tied down in Levick's final over. Only 3. They had to get more from the over, and chanced her arm a bit, but it was a lovely straight hit, and it's gone for 6 to the Hayes close end. Really quite a clean strike in the end, and that's turned into a better over for the Sunrisers. And look, 96 for 6 with 2 to go.
Lovely strike there from Gardner, even with long on, long off out. She was confident enough to take them on.
So it's going to be Smith to bowl now. Gunn will bowl the last over, I'm sure, as this is driven back past the bowler, just dives away across to her left, can't stop it, it goes up towards long off for a single. But Sunrisers certainly, even if they lose this match, they can take something from the way that these two have batted. I suppose what you want to avoid is a double wicket maiden and a wicket maiden in the 3rd and 4th over of the innings, but they've still got hopes in this game, as this is run down into the offside with no pace. Nice piece of placement, nicely executed, and a single there takes the score on to so that's the 50 partnership as well. Gardner 27 and Speed 21. Very well done between those two. And again, that was a nice shot, just played with no pace, giving chance of the run into the offside. Here's Smith again. Round the wicket, left arm spin, driven back past the bowler. 1 more run for Speed, goes to 22. But what they've done, increasingly, I think, Carla, is they found gaps, started to find gaps when they weren't earlier.
They have. They've drawn, running well between the wickets.
Yeah, and this is a hit. Oh, a bit of an inside edge, that one. But actually, sometimes the inside edge is more likely to get you 2 than the one that goes straight to the fielder, and that's how it proves. Because it wasn't where she was intending there, Gardner. She's hit it between deep square leg and deep mid wicket. But actually, it was a slight misfield, and they've got for the 2 to get the 100 up. Now, 8 more balls to get. I would think another 15 runs they would like. What would you reckon?
Yeah, for sure they would like 115.
Yeah, Smith bowls, and that's lofted away down the ground up towards long off and over for 6. Good shot, and use of the feet was impressive there from Gardner. And she's doing what the side really require, which is to just throw it back at the Northern Diamonds a bit in these last few overs. They've got the partnership. They need to really get the result, which is a couple of strong overs at the end. And there's her second 6 in consecutive overs. She's got 38 from 27, a strike rate of 140. And it's been a top effort from her. That was clearly over long off. Smith bowls again. This one is driven away up towards cover. And although there's a slight misfield, they don't go through for the run. So 107 for 6, 11 off this over. 1 over to go. Now, if they can get another double figure score, I reckon that's probably right at the top of their expectations, given they were in such trouble early on. 107 for 6, Speed 22, Gardner 38. A fantastic partnership this for the 7th wicket.
These two have done really well here.
They really have, haven't they? And it's just been intelligent building, and Gardner has had the willingness to take the spinners on, and it's come off.
She's played to her strengths, and I think that's something really important. You need to know your strengths, know where your boundary options are when the ball's there.
So Jenny Gunn, 2 for 16 in 3 overs. And this time she's bowling from the Hayes Close end, the international bowler. This one's lofted away up towards deep cover for a single by Speed. And that actually brings Gardner on strike now. She's going to be able to clear the rope against Jenny Gunn. And that would be quite something in the last over. We'll see.
So they're bringing cover up.
Yeah.
And putting the
long
two
off goes
straight
back.
out.
They've been impressed by the straight hits. They want the long off and long on back. Deep mid wicket back, deep square leg back. Cover, as you say, up in the circle. As this is hit along the ground, and a good shot for 4. That's really impressive, because that one was just a slightly slower one from Gunn. Then she went onto the back foot, Gardner, and cracked it between cover and extra for 4. Highly good piece of placement that. And this really has been a very impressive innings. 42 from 29, 112 for 6.
Slightly wider one there from Gunn.
Yeah, and she took advantage of it. We've got extra cover, backward point and short third man, all in a tight ring. This is lofted away up towards deep mid wicket. It could be a catch for long on. That's well taken. Long on actually ran in front of deep mid wicket in the end to take the catch. Either could have taken it, but she's done her job there, Gardner. She's out in the last over, but no real worries, because obviously there's only a few deliveries to go. She'll be delighted with that effort. 42 from 30. In the end, just a little bit of a miscue. She didn't hit that as cleanly. I think it was what we were saying. Trying to take Jenny Gunn on with that straight hit is a bit more problematical than perhaps taking on the spinners. And it was a good catch, because long on there, running in front of deep mid wicket to take the catch, and it's 112 for 7. But that, if the Sunrisers go on to win the game, then that will be viewed as a match-winning partnership.
A really good catch there, actually. It's quite high in the end, running in towards the ball. And with the lights on, can sometimes get in your eyes. So good grab. So is this Rogers in with a few balls to come?
Campbell, the catcher off Jenny Gunn. Jenny Gunn strikes again, and in she comes and bowls, and that's a very good piece of placement between long on and deep mid wicket, which almost finds the rope. Speed back on strike because they crossed, and actually that's turned out to be very good, because they're going to get a third on the overthrow, because Sarah Taylor couldn't gather that in. That's awkward throw. So that really worked out for the Sunrisers, because Speed was back on strike because of the ball being in the air. So she was on strike to Gunn. She played really quite a sensible shot, just flat batted between long on and deep mid wicket. Got the 2, which turned into 3 with a slightly awkward throw to Sarah Taylor. So Rogers is now on strike, Mia Rogers, and she's got 2 balls to face. So 8 runs have come off the over. 115 was a score we were talking about a little while ago. It was like a base figure for the Sunrisers. They're going to get the sort of score now that Thunder got against Diamonds last week, and that proved to be enough. So that's something for the Sunrisers to hang their hats on, if they can bowl well.
Just working out who to bring up, because they had 5 out.
Yep, so they've got 4 on the offside and a short fine leg in the circle, and this is a slower ball from Gunn, and actually just played out towards deep backward point. But again, no bad thing for the Sunrisers, because it's got Speed back on strike. Rogers just taking the single and giving Speed the last ball. 116 for 7. The boundary would be very useful here to get this up to 120. But really, from where they were in Gunn's first spell, this has been a very, very good effort from the Sunrisers. So Gunn up to the wicket again, bowls, and that's hit away up to cover, and just for once Speed loses a little bit of the momentum that she's had. She didn't quite place that one as she would have wanted to, but she can be really pleased with her 26, and in particular her partner Joe Gardner in that very impressive partnership, which took the score from 48 to 112. Gardner's 42 from 30 balls with 2 6s and 3 4s could yet prove a winning innings. Initially, all sorts of problems for the Sunrisers with those overs that brought a double wicket maiden for Jenny Gunn, and then Graham also striking. In no time at all, they were 6 down, but that partnership's given them some hope here.
You know, in that situation, the pressure's on those two batters, and for them to play as they did, rotate the strike really well. They brought the ring fielders in and then were able to hit past them. I'm sure they'll be happy with that effort, and it's given them some runs to go out and defend now. So really good job from Speed and Gardner.
Lovely, Carla. Well, you can have a well-deserved break, and I think has Don got you a drink? That's the thing. He has. He's going to actually reveal it, and then we'll see you in a few minutes' time. You have a break. Thanks, Carla Rudd, the Vipers wicket keeper. Great to have her with us. Coach at Felsted School as well, so a nice local connection. And thanks to her for her insights so far. There'll be more of that to come. And well, 116 for 7 is a lot better than the Sunrisers looked like getting at one point. So what we're going to do during this break is just have a little look at what else is going on in the world of cricket today, and that generally is going to involve looking at the Vitality Blast, which has come into another round of games on a Friday night. Essex not involved, but we'll give you a little idea of what's going on elsewhere during the next few minutes, just to bring you up to date with that competition. No other games in the Charlotte Edwards Trophy tonight, but I say it's a busy evening in the Blast. Interesting to see. We'll talk about the 100 a bit more with Carla in the second innings, but I noticed that more replacements for the 100. And Ollie Robinson being signed up to play for the Manchester Originals. So Ollie Robinson sort of back in the big time, if you like. And that's good news to see him back in one of the 100 teams. I also see that Nick Gubbins is going to join Hampshire, initially on loan, but then a permanent move, potentially with Sam Northeaster going elsewhere. So that's one or two cricket stories going on today. And we will have a look at what's going on in the Blast. I'll have a look at the Southern group first. But before we do that, Don, just a quick view from you on how that innings went. I think very, very impressive partnership with Gardner and Speed. It was Speed and Gardner. Yeah, I was saying to Carla, Jo Gardner plays a bit of golf. She's quite a handy golfer. Yeah. And not being funny, you could see how she struck the ball straight. So well played. Listen, they were 15 for none, 15 for 1, 15 for 2, 15 for 3. I mean, that there. I suppose if you were really critical, a couple of them played across the line, top orders, so that's where they lost the wickets. Maybe you'd be a bit disappointed if those particular batsmen had the opportunity to watch a video back. They'll probably go, "Oh, I shouldn't have done that." That's easy to say in hindsight, but they got themselves a total. Look, it's probably. Hopefully I'm not speaking out of turn here, but I'd probably guess at something like 60-40. Best at the moment, 60-40. In the Diamonds' favour? In the Diamonds' favour, yeah, I probably agree with that, but they didn't get a similar total last time out. They fell 12 short of 118, so look, they won a game the other day, Sunrisers, and they beat the Western Storm by 6 or 7 wickets. And they've got experience how to win a game. Now, I just hope that they bowl nicely up front early doors, which, not being funny, Nick, if me and you had a game of cricket now out there, if we were bowling now, we would have learned from the opposition how they bowled. Their spin bowlers bowled quite slow, there was not a lot of pace on the ball, and they bowled quite tight, but their seamers bowled straight. Yes, they did. And all of their seamers bowled quite straight. Maybe Graham bowled a couple of balls that were wide, but generally speaking, their seamers bowled straight, and they reaped rewards from bowling straight. So well done, certainly to those guys, to the girls of the Northern Diamonds. Sorry. So we're going to look at the Blast and with a couple of interesting scores. The top two are meeting tonight. Surrey and Kent. They'll meet again next Friday as well, actually. They do. And Kent are batting in that one at the St Lawrence ground, and they're on 89 for 3 and 12. So nicely poised. Joe Denley made 36 in that one. And he's been a bit out of form, hasn't he? Well, the Kiwis. put them in a strong position. So Essex, of course, have still got to go to Hove. That'll be their next game. I certainly had that down as a must not lose if Sussex win tonight. And then there'll be a question of, well, could they win all 3 and get to 17 points? Because that will be enough, I think. But if they were to win 2 and get to 15, well, I'm not totally convinced it will be enough. But it's going to be an interesting end to the group. Much more interesting from an Essex point of view than looked the case earlier on. If you have just joined us here, Sunrise is 116 for 7. The Diamonds are going to start their reply in just a moment. Over in the North group, we've got Notts Outlaws on top. So if Essex do get through, more than likely they'll finish in 4th place and be heading for Trent Bridge in the quarterfinals.
A touch of deja vu.
Well, yeah, Notts 2 points clear at the top, 3 to play after this. 177 for 9 against the Birmingham Bears, who tend to be sort of blowing hot and cold a little bit.
Do.
Alex Hales and Ben Duckett both got 30s tonight for the Notts Outlaws. So Notts Outlaws on 15. Now York, talking of blowing hot and cold, Yorkshire, who got bowled up for next to nothing the other night, 163 for 4 in the Roses match with just over an over to go against Lancashire, who are struggling a little bit on 10 points and need to win that one.
They've gone off the boil since they lost Livingston. He's a bit of a talisman, Livingston. He bats bowls and he contributes enormously to that Lancashire side. I like him as a cricketer.
Adam Lyth, 52. Adam Lyth perhaps a bit unlucky not to be a bit closer to England consideration given his overall form this season. And Harry Brook, the youngster, look at this, 75 not out from 44 balls with 3 sixes and 7 fours, and that's taking that's sort of rescued Yorkshire and taking them up towards a score probably of about 175. They're 164 for 4 with an over to go there in the Roses match against Lancashire, who need to find a way of winning that one. Worcester Rapids, who are mid-table at the moment, they're playing the Derbyshire Falcons. Worcester Rapids 97 for 3 in the 13th. I think both of those sides have to win that. In fact, Derbyshire definitely have to win. And Worcester Rapids, who've done well in the T20 in recent seasons, of course they were best beaten finalists by Essex in 2019. Had a bad year last year. They need to win to really bolster their chances. But they're 97 for 3 against Derbyshire.
Did you notice an import there? There was a certain Jade Dernbach making his debut for Derbyshire. Got a wicket early doors.
There we go.
Now whether that's going to be a permanent move or whether it's just for T20, but Jade Dernbach playing for Derbyshire.
And then Durham, who are in 4th place with the Birmingham Bears, equal on 11 points. It's Notts 15, Yorkshire 13, and then Birmingham and Durham on 11. They've got 3 to play after this. They'll expect to beat Leicester Foxes tonight over at the Emirates, and they're 115 for 4 with 5 overs to go. So they're not having it all their own way in that one. And
interesting for me, Durham. Ben Stokes has been playing.
Yes, he
hasn't set the world alight with the bat. Bowled quite nicely when required with the ball.
Got 8 tonight.
But he hasn't sort of dominated as you would expect Ben Stokes to do. Maybe he just hasn't found his rich vein of form.
So, those are both the latest scores from elsewhere. So 1 or 2 bits of...
Question for you, Nick.
Hampshire have just lost 2 very quick wickets, by the way, so Gloucestershire bang on top in that one.
We were talking off air earlier. You were going to find out, and I know you have got a mathematical mind. Tell me, did you find out about what happens if it's equal points?
In the T20 Blast?
Yeah, because I think it's equal points.
I'll tell you what, I'm about to go on there again, and I will look that up.
Okay, because we were arguing about it a little bit. I thought it was equal points. Once you've got equal points, it's most wins. And then after most wins, if it's the same again, it's on run rate. Now, we'll find that out because I think that's quite important. Where it could punish a certain team is if a team like Sussex, who have had 5 out of 9 at one point, rained off games. It doesn't. Well, if you have a rained off game, you get a point, but you don't improve your run rate, and clearly you don't win a game, but you get a point. So either way, by having those rained off games, if the laws or the rules of the competition suggest it is on wins, that could affect Sussex whether they go through or not, because we often find in one of the groups, Nick, it normally is decided on net run rate, isn't it, each year for the quarterfinals.
Yeah, so we'll have a little look at that. I've got to try and find it. I found the right page, but it'll take a little way to find the answer to that with all the ECB regulations. But I'll tell you what, we shall let you know. Not particularly relevant for tonight, but we'll let you know what that is.
Another point which is relevant, because it will affect what you're commentating on in due course, Mr. Gledhill, is that congratulations to Sam Cook, because he's been picked up by, I think it is by the Trent Rockets, as one of those surprise picks from the 100.
Yeah, I mean, that's really good news. I was talking actually on Around the Wicket about the fact that I thought Sam Cook should be in consideration, certainly for one of these 100 franchise, but I think he actually, even for England, I'm a believer, Don, that tour matches with counties will be a thing of the past.
Yeah,
but I do see the England A structure coming into play more at home, and I see those games having value, and I could see, Sam Cook, if he had a sort of like a 50 over in the day type game, that would be the sort of thing that Sam Cook could show his worth.
As a right armer, he's competing with so many good cricketers, and obviously the England A, if you had something like that, you clearly in these COVID times would be a big challenge as well. I'm
going to bring Carla back in while I do that little bit of research for you, if I can find the
right. Oh, lovely. I've set Nick Gledhill is prepped for the night. The police are out after him. We can hear the helicopter going galore all around Chelmsford. He's looking for.
Yeah, we've actually already said it was you, Don. So
it was me, was it?
Yes, I'm afraid so.
Lovely. Thank you, Nick. We'll see you after 5 overs. The umpires, well, they're out there. That is Joanna Ibbotson and Sophie McClelland, and we're going to be joined by Carla Rudd in a moment, and it's going to be bowling from the river end. Waiting to find out. I can't. My glasses don't see the name on the back of the strip of the. I've got to plug our guest in, and that is very easily done. And it's it's a spinner. It's a right arm round the wicket spinner.
It's Maddie Villiers.
Maddie Villiers of England fame, not currently needed just at the moment. And she played nicely till she was dismissed. She's coming round the wicket. Dot ball first up, and there is the batsman. It's Armitage and Dobson at the crease. Armitage facing. Comes down the wicket, meets it sort of on the half volley, plays it respectively back to the bowler for no run. Coming round the wicket is the off spinner. How's your cup of tea?
Lovely.
I didn't ask you, do you have sugar?
I don't, it was perfect.
I didn't think you had sugar. Down the wicket, gives herself a little bit of room. He squeezes it down to the boundary at third man, and they take 4 runs. I'm going to say that wasn't a bad delivery. She'll be so annoyed it's gone for 4, but actually it was quite a good shot because it was controlled and there was a bit of thick edge as well. But well played to the Diamonds. They're up and running. They're 4 without loss. Do you think it was a bit of luck or quite good?
I think Armitage used her feet coming down the track there, so she created that herself.
She does the same. This time it's outside off stump. She gives herself a bit of room as well and slaps it straight over extra cover for 4. And she's hit that powerfully. 4 goes to 8 without loss. No, it's a 6. The umpires are sort of questioning, did it go for 4 or 6? It's now been confirmed. It went for 6. 10 without loss. That was a big, beefy hit, that was.
That was a lovely stroke.
You could hear the beautiful knock on the wood. That's a bit of a song, that, isn't it? Knock on. Did you like that? Did you not like that? You didn't like that.
Song.
Really? As this time over the wicket again, it's down the wicket, it meets it, goes into out, and it sails over extra cover. It's gone for 4, so Villiers is having an expensive time. It's gone for 14 with 3 scoring shots.
Yeah, Armitage is really taking Maddie on here. No one out on that side, so she's really targeting her.
Well, the 2 people out are deep mid-wicket and deep long on, and she's bowled her. She's got a lady because she's been bowled and she looks desperately disappointed. Does Armitage, who's played very nicely for 14, all 100% of the runs scored, but she's got to go. I was trying to work out, we haven't got the live streaming, but I don't know how it got through.
I think it was stumped.
Stumped, was it?
I think it went past the outside edge.
Coming down the wicket again?
Coming down the wicket. And I think it was sharp hands by Amara Carr to take the wicket of dangerous Armitage.
The skipper does the business. No, she's not skipper tonight. She's skipper in the Rachel Hayhoe Flint, isn't she?
Yes, yeah, they've had a change of captaincy. Curly Castle has taken it on for the Charlotte Edwards Cup.
That's right. Asking you as a keeper, batsman. When I asked this, I appointed Andy Flower years ago when I was with Zimbabwe, where he captained, kept wicket, opened the batting. Hey, that's damn difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, there's so much to think about. Like, I like to concentrate on my own game.
Yes.
And I work on the angles, but
Yes.
anything more than that,
Are you
too
a
much to
noisy
think about.
keeper?
I love to be vocal. I like to encourage.
Well, I always use it as you're the scrum half in rugby. You're the key person to coordinate the two, the fielders and the bowler. It's going to be Tatani who bowls short of a length, forced back. Has the batsman, that is Dobson. She forces it up to mid-off. There is no run.
Good start there from Tatani.
Yep. I've seen a little bit of her in the Rachel Hayhoe Flint Trophy, and I quite like her. I'd love to work with her, and there's plenty to work with.
Yeah, it's the angle, isn't it, that it comes
It
across
is.
to the right-hander, but she also, if it's slightly straighter, gets a little bit of in-swing.
She's coming from the Hayes close end. Bowls, this is down the leg side, and that probably is just where the inconsistency for her, and I know you don't want to bowl wides. Of course, no one means to bowl wides, but you've got to have this repetitive action, and if you can, just keep repeating it and drill yourself. There's plenty to work with, but you just need to be consistent. No wides tonight in this, total probably under par. Is that fair?
I think it is slightly under par. They're going to have to bowl well.
Outside off stump, and sensibly Dobson leaves it alone as it goes through to the keeper.
Yeah, with a slip in place, you don't want to be swiping at that.
Well, the slip's there because they need wickets, won't they? So they've got a ring of 4 on the offside. The two guys out, ladies out, are third man and fine leg. Fine leg is a little squarer. Big difference. Have you played much here?
I have played a few games here, yeah.
I'll come on to that as Tatani bowls nice and straight, and that is very well bowled, well hit, but well bowled again. What I was going to say to you as a keeper, as a bowler, firstly, there's a slope here at Chelmsford. People don't talk about the slope at Chelmsford. They talk about your place, Hove.
Hove, yeah.
We all know about Hove, but Chelmsford, when you come from the Hayes close end, you come roaring down and then you go up. It's a bit like Crown Green Bowl.
Yeah, a little bit of ridge there, isn't there, as they get to the crease.
Tatani bowls, decent delivery that, searching for the stumps. It is respectfully played back up to mid-off where there is no run. And then if I spent most of my career actually bowling predominantly this end, and I always find that if you bowled this end, you generally got a little bit more bounce from coming up from the river end.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Whereas I used to struggle at the top end because you used to run away with yourself. Tatani bowls, is driven out to extra cover, well fielded, good cricket all round, nice shot, good delivery, and a good bit of fielding brings ultimately a valuable dot ball.
Good pick up there. She's sitting on the ring, which is interesting.
What, literally on the ring?
Yeah, they're all on the ring that side, so batter's got soft hands there. There's easy singles.
Smart awareness that. Drop and run.
Mara just getting her angles right here.
In she comes, left arm over the wicket, bowls nicely, little bit of shape on it, well fielded, diving on a follow through away from the strip, and I would say apart from the wide, had it not been a wide, I'm being ultra critical, that was a marvellous over without the wide.
Agreed, a really good start. It is just that consistency and not getting bored of bowling dot balls. I think bowlers can sometimes get hung up on getting wickets, but if you're bowling dot balls, the wickets will come.
I also, that's a really valuable point, if I could contribute as well, going on a step further. If we were playing together, you're at one end and I'm at the other, bowling, hey, you do your job brilliantly and then I'll support you, and then next over you support me, and before you know it, which is when they had that double wicket maiden and then in the first innings and a single wicket maiden, suddenly the Sunrisers were strangled round the neck a bit.
Yeah, because sometimes batters can target one end, but if both ends are putting the pressure on, they're really going to struggle.
Oh, and runs dry up. Teams panic. New bowler. It's a goal to the crease, I think. Patel, sorry, who bowls, and it goes into the offside. There is no run. Haven't seen Patel bowl much before. Do you know much about her for me?
I don't know too much about Patel. I think she's quite new to the scene. Am I right in saying she's a Middlesex player? I'll have to check that.
Yeah. She's about a 10-metre run up, bowls nice and tall. This is in the air, but it's just gone over mid-on for 4. Nothing wrong with the ball. I really mean that. So it wasn't a gimme ball. It was a decent ball, and it was challenged and taken over the top. It could have easily gone anywhere, but to her brave, Campbell, to her brave discipline there, it actually went just over mid-on. So nothing wrong with the ball for Patel. She's bowling again to the left-handed Campbell, who drives, this time drives beautifully. Oh, well fielded indeed by, is that
Lissy
McLeod?
McLeod, yes.
Yes, that was top draw fielding. That had 4 written all over it. McLeod at mid-off dives one-handed goalkeeper style and gets a big mitt on it, and I'm afraid it only went for 1. Brilliant bowling for, brilliant fielding for the Sunrisers. Patel moving away from us, passing the umpire down the leg side, and it's signalled a wide. You could see just then she didn't quite finish off her action as it just forced and pushed it down the leg side. 20 for 1, we're in the 3rd over.
Looks like they're changing fielding positions here. Smart move, get your best fielders in your most popular areas.
Patel, in she goes, full toss, that's gone for 6 as it's gone into the old mole hole here, which is where the players' wives, complimentary guests, used to sit in the good old days back in the 80s and 90s. That's been hit as a full toss and fully deserved to go over the boundary. And this is now becoming a little bit, it's costing Patel 12 so far, including this extra ball. For the wide, Patel. That's a better. Oh no, it's still down the leg side. Now the difficulty here is she's really pushing and shoving it down the leg side. She needs to stay tall and finish her arms off.
Yeah, it's just like looking like she's stopping at the crease as she releases the ball. She's thinking about that follow through going towards the target.
Bowling at good players here. She might be a little nervous. In she comes. She bowls slightly better this time. Squeeze between bat and pad into the leg side, and they come through for an easy single. Dobson another run, goes to 7. Campbell about to face on 5 and score 29 for 1. It's a good start this for the Northern Diamonds. Is there any diamonds in the north?
Diamonds in the north.
Oh, I'm just thinking where the region of the north is.
Yorkshire way.
Yes, diamonds up there. This time it's short. An attempted pull by the left-handed Campbell goes into the leg side. There is no run, and that's the end of an over. Quite an expensive over there. 29 for 1. There's diamonds. They call there's a not a franchise, but it's a team in Kimberley. I'm an old schoolmaster. Are you ready for this?
Go on.
There's a place in Kimberley where I used to play cricket called Greekland West. Greekland West in Kimberley, that is where the big hole, they used to call it the big hole, that's where diamond mining was in South Africa, and we were called the Greekwood Diamonds.
Oh, interesting.
So that was genuine.
Yeah.
I'm just asking about the Northern Diamonds.
There's always some diamonds.
Are there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Some goodies up there.
New bowler into the attack. Is that Scrivens?
It does look like Scrivens. Off spin. I think the Sunrisers need to be smart with their field here. We can't be giving easy singles. Mid-wicket looks a bit square. They need to come a bit tighter, a bit straighter in my opinion. And again, offside is sitting in the ring. We need to get extra cover in tight, because easy singles does not build pressure.
Well, they could be smart here, the Diamonds. As Scrivens bowls, this is driven up to mid-wicket, comes in in the line to collect the ball, and as you just said, maybe they are a little deep because they ran through easily for that single. The only thing that's interesting for me watching this tonight, how hard do they hit it? I've seen 1, 2 and 3. Campbell, Dobson, and who was the first lady at the wicket? It was Armitage. Hit the ball quite powerfully.
They are strong girls, but you'd think at this level.
Left-handed Campbell pulls into the air, and it's been caught at mid-wicket, hit high up on the bats. Scrivens gets a wicket. The second Diamonds wicket goes down with 30, and I have to say the Sunrisers at the moment are still in this. They're fighting hard. Caught by Tatani.
Good catch by Tatani. She was slightly in off the ring on that one, and a comfortable catch in the end, about chest height, but an important catch.
Yeah, it looked to me as if she was looking for the shorter ball, went back, but it seemed to hit higher up the back, so she couldn't get the elevation nor the power, and sort of ballooned it a bit, didn't she, from higher up the back. So, well, that means Campbell's gone, caught Tatani, bowled Scrivens for 5, and that brings to the crease, I'm looking...
Sarah Taylor.
Well, all the experience in the world, eh? How is she going to play this? Scrivens comes in to bowl to Taylor. Taylor plays a deft cut, a late cut, runs down to the Tom Pearce stand. It should be, well fielded by Patel. She just knocked it back just about probably a foot short of the rope as it was running away from her. And I have to say, good fielding. But 2 runs to Taylor. She's up and running, and the score moves to 30 for 2. Taylor moves across the stumps, it's pulled into the leg side, will go all the way out to deep mid-wicket just for the 1 run. Well, backed up by Datani. Powerful throw from, is that Villiers?
Villiers out there, yeah, she's known for a good throw.
Yeah, she is.
Don't think they're going to be taking 2s to her out there.
Putting on probably the longest part of the boundary here, towards the netting area, square of the wicket. This time it's driven by Taylor, takes a quick single. They cannot stop it. To be honest, that was good cricket awareness by Taylor. She moves to 3, score 34 for 2. Good cricket awareness.
It's just too easy at the moment for Diamonds to rotate the strike.
So captain is
Kelly Castle.
Where's she fielding? Scrivens in, full toss, driven into the offside. Tatani can't stop it. No, she dives, she tries, but alas, she can't stop it. It's gone in between cover and extra cover, and that is 4 easy runs there, 38 for 2. Who's captain? Castle. Where was she
Kelly
fielding?
Castle. Good question. I think she was mid-off.
Now, in women's cricket, I'm asking this not knowing, will you have an impact from behind the stumps? So will you be saying, Georgia, Isabel, come in, 5, watch the 1? Is the captain doing that? Is a vice captain? As I say, you've got Amara Carr who captains in Rachel Hayhoe Flint, so she would be an option just to keep an eye and an ear on people.
100%, yeah, the wicketkeeper's got a massive job in angles and position. So, yeah, Amara, Kelly Castle, bowler, all need to be on the same wavelength and communicating to the fielders and where they want them.
Tatani changes end. She's now at the river end, going up the hill past the umpire bowls, forces the batsman back, and there is no run. Good delivery. So we analysed her last over, and she gave us a wide, didn't we? And we were ultra critical, but actually we complimented it actually on a very good over, bar the wide.
Yeah, and she started again off well here. Let's see if she can stay consistent.
Strong girl, nice action as she runs away from us. Slightly angled left arm over the wicket, short into the leg side, it just goes over the infield. Villiers comes back and fields it. She's got it in her hand, and they turn down the second run sensibly. Well fielded. No shorter, please, Tatani, because I do think she was looking for that short ball. Was Dobson.
Yeah, she didn't quite get hold of it. I think if she did, it would have gone to the boundary.
Tani throwing ball from left hand to right hand, passing it back. 5th over. Nick Gledhill will join us at the end of this over as Datani moves away from us. Running in nicely short, pulled into the leg side, and that's simply been dismissed towards the little scoreboard and the executive offices here at Chelmsford, and that is 4 runs. That was dismissed.
Yeah, that's the short ball that Sarah Taylor will not miss out on.
No. Got to pitch it up here. Got to inconvenience her. Get her coming forward. Aim at those blue stumps. And she does. It's driven into the offside. Well fielded. Well bowled. Good smart cricket there. But alas, she's gone for, what, 6 in this over? No, 4 and a 1.
Yeah, she needs a good finish here. A few dots.
4 balls gone. Throwing the ball in the air. Turns, walks backward. Stands to attention. Takes a deep breath on a mark. Here she goes, away from us, bowls to Taylor, short again, Paul, they're going to look for a single, but they do not take McLeod on sensibly. We've seen she's a good fielder. Tall girl McLeod at mid-on, there is no run, 43 for 2.
Just received a message from Danny Wyatt, she is listening.
Good evening, Danny. As Datani takes a deep breath, goes into a run, running hard, driven, well bowled. Probably the best ball of the over. It was nicely aimed at the blue stumps, but a little inside edge there, goes all the way down to fine leg. They take the single. Taylor keeps strike. She is on 12. At the other end is Dobson, who's been there for a while now, on 10. And the Diamonds, in reply, in their search for the Sunrisers, 117 to win this Charlotte Edwards Trophy game. Well, the Diamonds are 44 for 2.
So in this situation, the Sunrisers need to think about how they're going to get some wickets. At this run rate, the Diamonds are looking in for the win at the moment. So Sunrisers need to be smart. How can they build some pressure? Looks like Maddie Villiers is back in, getting her field angles right before she bowls her first ball.
Here she comes. Off spin, slightly quicker off spin, where it's another decent shot there from Taylor, who looks for 2, and she gets 2. Good running. I have to say it was also a very delightful shot. She came in with the first ball she faced, was a little deft touch, late cut for 1, and now Taylor has just taken 2. I forgot I meant to go. My apologies, Mr. Gledhill. I was so excited.
Having too much fun.
I was. Villiers in, bowls, a little quicker. The reverse sweep, got herself in a tangle, to be fair. And if I may say, I can think of better shots, and Sarah Taylor is a very fine player. But she attempted it and got nowhere with it. Hit a reverse hit almost, went into the offside, no run. Do you like the reverse sweep? Do you say something behind the stumps?
No, I don't. I would like to be able to play it. I have been practicing it.
Have you?
Because I think it is a good option, boundary option. Low risk, especially if it's outside the off stump.
Villiers in, bowls, better delivery, clipped into the leg side with the spin. They take a single, and there is only a single. 1 run to Taylor. She's made 15 in 10. Dobson facing 10 in 12, and it's 47 for 2. A wicket to fall now will be interesting. Villiers bowls, a little slower this time, driven up to mid-off, well bowled. Certainly a subtle difference in pace there.
I think it's really important to bowl variations in T20, if that's pace or flight, to keep the batter on their toes.
Villiers bowls outside off stump wide, and wide signalled, and probably justly right.
Nice take from Mara Carr.
It was.
She's had a nice tidy game so far.
Bowling the reballed bowl. It's driven into mid on, and yeah, absolutely another easy single The ones on the inner ring probably need to just keep coming in, trying to force the shot over the top or indeed in the air. But they're taking the singles to the inner ring quite easily just at the moment. Villiers a bit quicker into the leg side, and they quickly get through for a single. And that completes the end of the 6th over. I shall leave you in the capable hands of Carla Rudd and Nick Gledhill.
Batters just having a chat in the middle about their plan of action, how they're going to move forward with this. That's the end of the power play, so 4 now allowed out on the boundary. Looks like a change of bowler. Is this Kelly Castle coming on now?
Sorry, Nick.
The Sunrisers need to think about how they're going to go about defending this title. This run chase, sorry. They need to build a bit of pressure from somewhere. They need to get some wickets.
Well, they could do with a wicket, I think, the Sunrisers, and Sarah Taylor looking pretty impressive, has to be said. And a big obstacle, I think, as here is the first baller from the new over from Itani, and just takes the pad. 50 up for 2, and Taylor 16 and Dobson 11, and these two threatening a match-winning partnership, I think, here.
It looks like it so far. Kelly Castle here needs to do something with the ball.
Yeah. So Castle up to the wicket and bowls, and that's pulled away. Oh, uppishly, but past square leg and goes for 4. Well, it was a little bit uppish that, but it was pretty firmly struck, and Sarah Taylor, looking in pretty good form, it has to be said, has gone quickly here to 20 in 13 deliveries, 54 for 2, and with Jenny Gunn still to come, that extra bit of experience in the middle order could be quite significant here.
She moved early across to the off stump there. I wonder if Kelly picked that up.
So Castle bowling medium pace from this river end. Up to the wicket now, bowl, that's a slower one, and just played nicely just in front of square on the onside. That's a very clever little shot, just showing all her experience there. Hits the 4 and then just plays it just in front of square and allows herself to get through for a single. She goes to 21, Sarah Taylor, and has to be said that at the moment this 115 looking a little bit light compared to what they perhaps needed on this pitch. It was certainly better and looked at one stage, as this is pitched right up and driven just up towards straight mid wicket, and there's no run here for Leah Dobson, who's playing a good supporting role on 11, but this is a partnership the Sunrisers have to break. 7th over, 55 for 2, a target 117. Sunrisers relying on that partnership between Speed and Gardner to give them a seemingly competitive score, but these two are going well. That's a nice delivery, floated up into the block hole, and Dobson can do little more than just play it up into the onside, but not that that matters because they're well up with the required rate here, which is certainly very, very comfortable at the moment. Coming towards the end of the 7th over, the required rate's less than 5s, so it's about wickets for the Sunrisers, who made 116 for 7. Northern Diamonds are 55 for 2. This one time she goes across a crease, Dobson, but hits it straight to square leg. So a good comeback there from Castle in the over. Just a 5 off it in the end, the 2 scoring shots. Taylor 21, Dobson 11, and it's 55 for 2. Yeah, they need to break the partnership, don't they, here, Carla, because I can't see them restricting them.
Yes, they do. They need to have a good chat, captain and bowler. Maybe the experience as well. Speak to Amara Carr behind the stumps. What should they be doing in this situation to get those wickets?
So of course this is going to be quite a big month, isn't it, for the women's game, because we have a little matter of the 100 starting in 3 weeks time, and the very first game to be shown on TV, in fact it's going to be on BBC 2 I believe, is going to be a women's match. How big a day is that then?
You know, it's a fantastic thing for the women's game. You know, to be the first game.
Is it the Invincibles against the Originals from memory? It is. Magister Originals, yeah. Right, here's the start of a new over, and an attempted reverse flick from Taylor doesn't come off on this occasion. Gardner coming on from the hero of the game with the ball, with the bat. Can she do the same for the ball for the Sunrisers? Well, that was a good first delivery because it stopped the intended shot of Taylor, which was a little reverse sweep for 4 past short third man, so she stays on 21. It's a 55 for 2. And here's Gardner again up to the wicket. That's on the pads of Taylor, who just works it around for a single up towards fine leg. So yeah, the first slightly loose throw, but in the end no harm done. But they need wickets here for Sunrisers. Diamonds 56 for 2, and we're in the 8th over. The target 117 on BBC Essex. Carla Rudd from the Southern Vipers with us today, as that's floated up into the block hole by Gardner. Nice delivery, and not much that Dobson can do about that. Just rolls into the offside. So really important. I think most of the occasions we're going to see a women's match followed by a men's match, aren't we? There's going to be the sort of sequence.
Yeah, I believe that to be the case. Yeah.
After this first game, where I think the women and men are playing on different nights in the first 2 rounds, but let's hope for a settled forecast come the middle of July. That would help matters, I believe. 56 for 2, and this is driven off the back foot. That's a good looking shot. That's a classic back foot drive from Dobson. She gets a single, deserved more for that actually. A slight misfield in the covers, but it was a beautiful stroke to watch. The back foot force off into the offside, you couldn't see it played much better really, and she goes to 12. Taylor has 21. It's 57 for 2, and we're in the 8th.
Yeah, these two are looking settled at the wicket, so Sunrisers need to keep putting pressure on with some dot balls here.
So Gardner in the 5th over bowls, and this is flicked away off the pads. Nice looking shot. There is a deep square leg on the boundary, and just the 1 run. So, as I say, we are seeing greater exposure for women's cricket, of course, this year with the television contract, which has given obviously BBC more live T20s and highlights, of course. But this is going to be particularly important, of course, in the success of this competition, and the fact that the women's game is playing such a big part in the 100, as this is driven without timing here by Dobson. There's a slight miss. 2 misfields, and eventually they go through for the single. You don't often get a run on 2 misfields, but that was the situation there. There's a bit of a bad bounce there, I think, defeated the fielders, but that's an unusual one. We get 2 misfields, cover, and then mid-off wide, both having problems there, and they eventually went through for the single. But Dobson 13, Taylor 22, 59 for 2. Yeah, so you're looking forward to it, and say people have to get used to it, the format, but it's certainly something that's very important for the ECB that it succeeds.
Yeah, and the women's game has come on so much in the recent years. Like a lot of these girls out here are on contracts, so we now don't have to work alongside playing cricket, and that brings up the standard. People are going to want to come and watch the women play. So yeah, I'm really excited for the 100 that's not too far away now.
So it's going to be Shrivens, bowled spin from the river end. She bowls, and there's a pull into the onside. This is going to bounce just short of deep mid wicket, and there's a single there for Dobson. It was a bit uppish. Shrivens might have thought for the moment she was going to hit it straight to deep mid wicket, but it did bounce short. So Dobson goes to 14. Taylor has 22 from 17. It's 60 for 2 in the 9th, chasing 118 at the moment, getting there fairly comfortably, it has to be said, as Shrivens bowls. And this is just a back foot force. She goes back into her crease here, Taylor, and plays it up towards long on for a single. So I think basically there's a game a night, isn't there? And it's a great chance for the exposure of the women's game, because of course it is the big show in town as far as women's cricket is concerned. It's Shrivens bowls, and off the back foot, which is hit back down the ground, and there's no run, goes to the bowler. Whereas there are test matches that are going to be played in England and India will start sort of halfway through the 100. This is going to be the main show in town, I think, for the women's game, isn't it, between mid-July and mid-August. Get your comment on that after this next one from Shrivens. It's driven up towards cover and there's no run.
Yeah, and it's really exciting how the women are now getting the same treatment as the men. So, we're in the same accommodation, we get the same coaching and S&C support, so it just is bringing up the standard of our game. Here, Dobson on strike and plays a pull drive, good looking shot. She played some nice strokes in the last couple of overs, Dobson, starting to match Taylor in terms of the danger she's posing, as a single up to long on. Dobson to 15, Taylor 23, 62 for 2. They have to get, basically just a little bit more, around about doubling that, and a little bit less. 117 is the target, and we're in the 9th over. And yes, there are 1 or 2 little things that have come up as Shrivens bowls again. And that's the full toss and pulled away and 4. Yeah, I'm afraid that one rather got what it deserved. It was lobbed up in the slot, and
Taylor, well, that was meat and drink to her, really. She just got into line and hit it between long on and deep mid wicket, and the extra class of Sarah Taylor really is telling here. We're going to have a drinks break at the end of the 9th over, 27 from 19. I just have to underline, it's a great pleasure to see her at Chelmsford, and I think some of this crowd that come tonight away on the far side of the ground, there's a good number in at the Hayes Close end, and for once they're not having to worry about the rain. I think just the sight of seeing Sarah Taylor play cricket at Chelmsford after all she's been through, it's just fantastic, to be frank. 66 for 2, Taylor 27 and Dobson 15.
Just shows how good she actually is, you know, time away from the game, and she can come back and still play cricket at this level, and you know, hitting the ball, bad ball to the boundary like that is just brilliant to see.
Well, Patel had that difficult first over that went for 14. Now, can she better that as she comes back on from the Hayes Close end, and which is on the pads, and that's a very good bit of fielding at backward square leg, because that was going to be 4 all ends up, and it cut down to 1.
Yeah, excellent dive and stop there. I think, is that Patel?
I think it's it might well be De Villiers, because that was a beautiful piece of fielding. I mean, that looked for all money as though it was a ball on the pads, it was just going to be hit away for 4. And it was beautifully intercepted. They did get a single. Taylor has a strike, 67 for 2. This is just flicked away around the corner by Taylor. And Villiers there again. It was a slightly easier bit of fielding this time, but the first one was absolutely superb. 2 singles at the start of this over. 9.2 overs gone, 68 for 2. Diamonds almost halfway through their overs, but more than halfway to their target of 117. As here's Patel again, bowls, and this is driven off the back foot without timing up into the covers, and there's no run. Yes, those little glitches I was talking about was the infamous used pitch for the game at Bristol, of course, Carla, which raised a few eyebrows, not least with Heather Knight. And that's, I think there were 1 or 2 supposedly extenuating circumstances, but there needs to be a promise that won't happen again. So let's hope for international matches that remains the case. So this is a delivery that's wide outside the off stump, and there's one more. That's quite a big wide as well, I have to say. So 1 more goes to the total, and Diamond's right on top here, 69 for 2.
Yeah, Sunrisers need to not give them anything here. They're going to defend this total.
Need to take a couple of very quick wickets. Need to get Taylor out, then Gunn out. So a lot to do, as this is uppish and play just wide of mid-wicket for a single, out to deep mid-wicket on the boundary, and 1 more goes to the total. Dobson goes to 17, 70 for 2, but it's looking a bit like a match-winning partnership this after 2 relatively early wickets went down.
Yeah, Dobson's playing a really good supportive role here, just getting Sarah back on strike.
She certainly is, and has played some nice shots of her own as well. Yes, these 2 came together with a score at 30. That's another wide outside the off stump. Taylor knew it was going to be signalled as a wide. Disappointing for Patel. 2 offside wides. I can see she's trying to keep the ball away from Taylor's pads, but unfortunately she's just over-committing to the off stump at the moment, isn't she?
Yeah, she's got to get the stumps in target here, really.
So 5 fielders in the circle, 3 on the offside. This is on the pads of Taylor, and crisply struck away out towards deep mid-wicket for a single. 72 for 2. And at the start of your career, of course, Taylor was already in situ, wasn't she? Younger Sarah Taylor as the keeper, so a difficult person for you to dislodge.
Yes, it was. Yeah, Sarah was in place at Sussex, so I moved to Berkshire and played.
Got yourself some cricket,
my senior cricket there.
72 for 2. And this is a good delivery from Patel. Good comeback, actually, last couple of balls. That one just played back down the pitch. But she'll be a bit disappointed with the 2 wides, which spoilt the over, which otherwise only went for 4 singles. So the end of the 10th over, the halfway stage, Diamond 72 for 2. They only need to get another 45 in 10 overs. Hard to see how the Sunrisers win the game from here. But I have to say it is a delight to see Sarah Taylor playing again, and having got a concussion, which wasn't a nice way to come back into the game. She's obviously recovered and playing in this match, and at the moment the extra class of Taylor with the support of Dobson is just making the difference here.
Yeah, Sunrisers need to do something special here, I think, to stop this chase.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, but yeah, so suppose you're getting to see a little bit more of these two sides. They're not in the same group, of course, as the Vipers, are they? This is like a round robin of 2 groups of 4, isn't it? Where each side played each other twice. So here's Castle bowling, and that's driven up towards mid-wicket, and there's no run here for Taylor, who's still on 29. But you could potentially meet one of these sides in the knockout phase. Obviously there'll be semi-finals and finals.
In September.
Let's hope we get good weather for that. Not playing them all on the same day, or is it like the Vitality Blast T20 where they do?
Good question. I'm not
We'll have to
sure.
work that out. This is floated up and just flicked away down towards backward point, and there's no run. Well, one thing about this format is that no one can say there's too many games, because one of the things we've found in the Vitality Blast T20 is that the games are so incessant this season, cramming in these 14 games in such a short period of time, that seeing a lot of cricket on tired pitches where we're getting increasingly smaller scores as pitches are used again and again. This is driven up towards long on for a single, this time by Taylor, goes into the 30s, and it's 73-42, but this is looks a good wicket here tonight, and you'd feel that possibly it was that damage done by Jenny Gunn in particular early on which has stopped Sunrisers getting the sort of score they probably needed. Castle bowls again, floating that one up into the block hole and driven up towards mid-wicket. Some nice variations here from Castle, but they need the wickets, don't they?
They do. It's important Kelly keeps targeting the stumps here, make the batters play, and if they miss, they're in with a shout for a wicket.
So here is Castle in her second over. She bowls and off the back foot, which is hit up towards cover. No run here for Dobson, who stays on 17, but she's played her part in this important partnership, which is looking at the moment as though it's assuming a match-winning status, though this has been a very tight over from Castle, just the 1 run from it, which she'll be very pleased about. As this is played off the back foot up towards mid-off. They go through for a quick single. If that had hit, that certainly would have hurried Dobson up, but the throw just missed from Villiers, and I think it would have been a tight call, but not the breakthrough that the Sunrisers have been looking for. Still hopeful, but at the moment it's not there. So 74 for 2, the target 117, 9 overs to go. What they need to get another 43 runs, and Don is listening to something else at the moment, which is getting her attention, but he's going to be back on in just a moment after a few words from you, Carla.
So is this Joe Gardner coming on to bowl? So Dobson's still on strike after stealing that quick single, the last ball of that over. Mara Carr's coming to have a word with Joe at the bowler's end. She's having to run back behind the stumps. So what have the Sunrisers got here to try and claw this back? Quite a leg side heavy field as Joe gets ready to bowl.
She's on her way in. She bowls a nice delivery, which is driven back quite hard to the bowler on a follow through. Joe Gardner bowls a nice delivery, that driven back nicely, but Dobson doesn't get anything for that shot. Powerfully driven.
Marakal working on angles as the keeper. I'd like to see that.
You keepers stick together, do you? Gardner bowls and is driven over extra cover for 4, ball with width, enjoyed by Dobson. She invests and makes 4. She's gone to 22. Interestingly, 22 in 33 balls, but it doesn't matter. They're clearly in the pound seat. 74 for 2 becomes 78 for 2. Dobson and Taylor. This partnership's becoming worth a few now. It's driven out with an open face bat into the offside. They look for 2. They're coming back for 2. That's good running. A direct hit might have been interesting, but I have to say they were in. 80 for 2.
Yeah, good running there. Taking on the second.
So this is your debut behind the mic tonight, is it?
It is, yeah. I got the call this afternoon to see if I was free.
Where have you come from?
Well, I come from work, Felsted School.
Felsted School, so
yeah.
Of which is your last day?
Last day.
celebrations. They'll be having a party tonight, won't they, the
I
staff?
expect lots of them would be.
Short ball, an attempted bouncer, didn't really get up, gone down to fine leg, and we're looking, I think that might be off the pad, and it is signalled. Leg buys, yes. Having taught for 23 years, after my own career, I can remember you get to the end of the summer term, well, hey! And you've obviously got a lot of cricket.
I do.
You'll have to take your holiday much later in the summer season. This time, I think that's an attempted scoop by Taylor, where I'm going to look, is it going to be a leg by? No, it's a wide, so it actually went down the leg side. We're blinded by the keeper, Amara Carr, as it's gone down the leg side, so to be rebowled. So where's your home? So you obviously would live near to Felsted, but as Joe Gardner bowls, it's another wide. It's going to be costly, 84 for 2.
Yeah, I just live north of Braintree. So, do you know Braintree?
Yeah, I do. Have you bought a house that way?
Yes.
Right, okay. Family home is in Sussex?
It is, yeah. Grew up in Sussex.
As Joe Gardner bowls, it's a decent ball, nice and straight, no chance of being a wide. Driven back to the bowler who collects on a follow through, 84 for 2. Your next game?
Tomorrow.
At?
Arundel.
Very beautiful.
Arundel Castle, lovely ground.
Very beautiful. Yep, who's that against?
Loughborough Lightning, I believe.
Right, driven down the ground, beautiful shot, exquisite. Pretty full and got what it deserved. It's not a bad ball, but it certainly enjoyed it, picked up the length very early, 88 for 2, and that was a beautiful shot. You'd have been proud of that.
I would have loved to score a shot like that.
Where's your strength for batting?
I like to sweep.
Do you?
I like to sweep the spinners and use my feet. Been practicing the ramp shot a lot with Jason Gallion. Do you know, Director of Cricket at Felsted School?
Played here?
Yes.
Played at Nottinghamshire?
Yeah, so he's been giving me a bit of coaching at Felsted, which saved me having to travel down to the Aegeus Bowl weekly.
Does he... Oh, right. Actually, I was going to get onto that because your commitment, I'm not being funny, as a school teacher, PE, I know what your commitment is. How do you dovetail it all? As we're going to see Castle come in, and this... No, it's not Castle.
Yeah, Kelly Castle.
Kelly Castle, who is played into the leg side. There is no run. So how do you dovetail that? Sometimes you don't have to go down to the Aegeus Bowl.
Yeah, Vipers are very understanding.
As Castle comes in, right arm over the wicket, angling the ball in with a little in swing, and it goes out all the way out to deep square leg where there is just the one run, 89 for 2.
Yeah, Vipers are very understanding. They allow me to do my training locally to me, and then I join in with group training sessions when I can, so school holidays and stuff like that. But yeah, school are also very understanding. They give me times off for my games as well.
As this is driven down the ground, good shot, but it's only going to be one, and fielded at long on, so they move to 90 for 2. Only 27 required now.
I feel like some risers need to do something different here. It's too easy at the moment.
Castle comes in, little slow as a reverse sweep. This time it goes over backward point and it sails across the boundary line. Beautifully executed. This time she got all of it and it went over the fielder at short third man for 4.
Good shot that. Not a lot Kelly Castle can do about that as a bowler.
So do you practice the reverse as well? Did you play a bit of hockey?
I didn't. No,
really?
I didn't play much hockey at all. I was just sort of cricket driven at school.
Really? Right, okay. Kelly Castle, right arm over the wicket, angles in. This time it's forced into the offside. Sensibly, they just take a singles. It goes across the netting area for 1 run, 95 for 2. So when does Jason Gallion get you down on one knee and you just keep practicing the sweep? Does he throw the off spinners? How does he do it with you?
He does it all. He's got a nice slinger that he likes to throw at me.
Castle, this time down the ground, does Dobson, and she meets the ball halfway and drives it straight up to long off for a single. 96 for 2. Yep, with the old dog sticks.
The old dog sticks, yeah. Yeah, he does all sorts. Tennis balls. So little drills it into me, then we build up into the slinger. But yeah, his knowledge of the game, he talks it through with me, has really advanced my knowledge of the game as well. So it's not just practicing the skills, but game awareness and your own, mental, how you're going to get yourself in, where are your strengths, all that he's gone through with me. So I'm very grateful.
And when does he do that with you then? Lunchtimes? No, because you're busy. Probably have additional practice with your girls or fellas.
Well, it's a long old day, 8 till 6. We find a time at some point.
Villiers bowls, quicker delivery in the off-spinning variety through, and it's hit out to mid-wicket, no run.
Sometimes I have joined in with boys, first team practice.
Beautiful pitch out at Felsted.
Yes.
The old pavilion.
Yep. Yeah, match on there today. Tradition that the first 11 take on the old Felstedians.
The Robins?
The Robins.
See, you didn't know I knew that, did you? Cut, but hit into the floor. No run. Just mistimed it. Gave herself a little bit of room, did Dobson, but there is no run. Marakara offering instructions and advice. So your travel tomorrow morning?
I will, yeah.
Villiers bowls, little slower, well bowled, well fielded on her return.
It's about 2.5 hours for me, I believe. So about a 9 o'clock start. We'll leave, get there for about 12.
Do you come home tomorrow night?
Yes.
Back to Essex. This time a little shorter, a little quicker. Played into the leg side with the spin. A good throw at the stumps, but hasn't gone for overthrows, I'm pleased to report. But good looking, well, good cricket, good shot, good running. A throw at the stumps, but alas, easily in. One more run, 97 for 2. So you come back, that'll be fairly late then, probably a good up past midnight.
Well, 2:30 start.
Oh, 2:30, sorry.
Yeah, hopefully I can get back for some of the England game.
Oh, you like your football?
I will follow England.
Good. Villiers bowls, outside off stump. And Sarah Taylor plays the cut, but plays it a little bit too heavy because she plays it to backward point, where previously she had played it to short third man and would have played and run and taken a run. Villiers bowls again. Her last ball of her third over. This is trapped or yorked out into square of the wicket, goes out to the boundary where there is a fielder. There is one run, end of the over, 99 for 2. Yes, so football tomorrow night. But please stay safe, everyone. I am slightly worried about the celebrations and scenes you see on social media where this horrid COVID-19 virus doesn't seem to infect people that like football. You know what I mean? People, if you're all right if you're watching football.
Oh yeah, COVID-free if I'm watching football.
Really, yeah. Stay safe, everyone, please. Tatani reintroduced to the attack now, coming round the wicket as many left armers do towards the latter stages of a T20 innings. Keeper standing up. She's on her way from the river end. She bowls. This time Taylor goes across her stumps, goes over to well outside off stump and looks for the 2. It was well fielded. Super bit of fielding actually by deep square leg. I want to nominate that lady because that was good. Very good. Can you...
Is that Scrivens?
Well, it was. Whoever it was.
Or Villiers?
I don't think it's Villiers.
Villiers out of cover.
Yeah, that's right. Scrivens, we'll give her credit. That was a super bit of fielding. Diving on her knees, getting up, throwing a decent throw back to the keeper. So well fielded. 2 more runs to Taylor, who's messing around on the crease now. Moving around. She goes again. This time tucked into the leg side. She'll take an honourable single. 101 for 2.
Yeah, Taylor's looking to get across that off stump early. She's clearly premeditating to go leg side, so as a bowler, we're a fielding unit. What can we do? Do we put the boundary riders out on that side, give her the 1?
Well, Kelly Castle's just had a little word to Tani. Round the wicket this time to Dobson. Dobson drives up to mid-off but hits it nicely, powerful, but there is no run because that was hit powerfully, so she decided against it, and she's not really under pressure. We're in the 15th over and there's still 3 balls remaining. They only need 16 runs to win. Do the Northern Diamonds. They've cut a very good match tonight. Did you like that? Cut a very good. Oh, don't worry. As you are meant to laugh at the jokes. As
Very
it's
funny.
sprayed into the leg side where there is no run. Decent ball. Slower ball, perhaps a little straighter. Perhaps she may have just rolled her fingers down the side of the ball to offer a cutter.
It's a really good option because if the batter's coming hard at the ball, if it's slower, might pop up a bit, get a catch.
She's on her way in, left arm round the wicket, short pulled, that might be a maximum, it is, it goes into the bottom of the Tom Pearce stand. That was a lovely shot there by Dobson. It was short, she saw it early, got back and caressed it into the air, into the Tom Pearce stand. That's a good 6, brings up 37 good runs now from 46 balls. Taylor has 40 from 32, score 107 for 2. Tatani in a game, bowls little shape there, looks as if it just carried on with the arm and well fielded. There is no run, and that concludes my contribution for the evening. And I would just like to say thank you, Carla, for your company. I hope you've enjoyed it.
I have, very much
do you know
so.
the last time I made a cup of tea? 2005.
Oh, I feel very privileged. It was a great cup of tea. So batter's chatting in the middle here. 107 for 2. Chasing 116. They can see the end in sight here, Diamonds. Just need to keep going as they are.
Back on and we'll discuss. Yeah, sure.
Looks like change of bowler. So Scriven's coming on. So off spin.
Well, yeah, it's just been a bit too much, hasn't it, for the Sunrisers, this partnership. It's been very, very good, has to be said. And they came together at 30 in the 2 balls into the 4th over. They're still there, and they may look very comfortable. Just need 10 to win, 5 overs at their disposal. And Sarah Taylor still very much has it, has all the armoury there in terms of her strokes and range of shots. Look very, very good. So what can they do with Sunrise? Not too much from here, I suspect, as this is driven up towards deep cover for another single. If they needed wickets a while ago, but they didn't come, and you feel that sense of inevitability now. Shriven's back on at the Hayes Close end with her spin.
Yeah, I
And-
like. Go on.
Carry
I
on.
like that they're moving. You know, they're 2 backward point, short third in,
Yeah.
and now they're bringing that into the mid wicket.
Shriven's again, this time bowling to Dobson, and Dobson drives to long on because there's a gap there, there's no mid on, so nice comfortable run. So is it just, this has been a high quality partnership? Do you feel the Sunrisers probably didn't get enough runs because of that gun and that intervention of Jenny Gunn, of course, with those 2 wickets very early on? And we shouldn't forget, of course, Phoebe Graham as well, as that's driven away up towards deep mid wicket. There's going to be another single there, so another single to Taylor, goes to 42, and they're just easing their way home now. 110 for 2, singles off the first 3 balls of this over. Yeah, I mean they did well to come back to 116, but the innings was so completely undermined, wasn't it, by those 2 overs, 3 and 4, double wicket maiden.
Yeah,
I think it was, wasn't it?
When you lose wickets in clusters like that, it really does put pressure on your team.
Here's a good delivery here, which it goes into the block hole. They go for a quick single. Now, if that throw had hit the stumps, that would have been definitely a run out because Dobson was nowhere near getting in at the bowler's end. But it was a nice delivery from Shriven. A little bit of variety, just landed in the block hole. And but they get through for what will be the 4th single of the over, and it's certainly more than they need. 111 for 2, still 6 runs required, in fact 5 runs required now, because That's gone again for another single, this time Taylor driving it through the covers. So yeah, that was pretty devastating, wasn't it? When you look back at how the game went, to have a double wicket maiden in the third over and a wicket maiden in the fourth, and the contrast actually is quite interesting as it's hit in the air and safe, and that could be the winning runs. It's going to be stopped just short of the boundary, it won't be therefore, and it's just going to be the single. Well, certainly would have been a boundary to get the scores tied, at least anyway, if that had gone to the rope. And it still needs 4. So, but there is a sense of inevitability now. 113 for 2 at Diamonds, needing 4 to win, and they've got 4 overs. So that's a pretty nice asking rate. The contrast, overs 3 and 4 for the Diamonds, 14 and 9, albeit a wicket in the fourth over, but that's basically sort of quite a contrast, isn't it? In term, and of course, once that second wicket went down, it brought these two together. So in fact, that wicket wasn't the worst thing for the Diamonds.
Yeah, they've done really well here, these two.
It looked certainly with Taylor in the side and that middle order, certainly looked like they might well be certainly challengers in this group. For the Sunrisers, of course, it's going to be a 1 win and 1 defeat, so there's still plenty to play for. But I have to say, since these two came together, there's really only been one outcome in the game, has to be said. As here's a nice drive off the back foot to the first ball of the Newcastle over, and no run here for Dobson. She'll stay on 40, Taylor 43, and these two now put on 83 unbeaten for the third wicket. And it's been a great exhibition from them on a fairly easy pace pitch, I think. And this is hit down the ground. Those are the winning runs. That's a terrific hit. And in actual fact, Dobson hitting that 4 has overtaken Taylor for the first time in the innings, and that is the end of the game. So Dobson actually getting one slightly over her partner by getting ahead for the first time, but Taylor won't mind because the combination of the two has been quite superb, and it's been too much for the Sunrisers, who are in this game certainly. But until these two came together, 116 for 7, playing 30 for 2. But Taylor, with her great all-rounded class and experience, Dobson initially playing second fiddle, but then becoming more confident, just basically wore the Sunrisers down, and they've won with great comfort, haven't they? With 22 balls to spare.
Yeah, I think Sunrisers going to have to go away and reflect on this. What could they do differently? You know, playing the straight ball. Obviously, Jenny Gunn was quite bowling stump to stump. How they might go about doing that better next time, so they don't have a similar collapse, losing wickets in clusters. And I think that's what's cost them in the end. I
think it's been a nice night for the crowd. Seems we've got a good number of spectators in at the Hayes Close in. I think they've enjoyed the weather, and I think they've enjoyed. Anyone who's interested in women's cricket would just enjoy watching Sarah Taylor bat. They've seen that this evening. They've seen Jenny Gunn with the ball, so they've seen some very well-known players, of course, who've had stellar England careers making a contribution tonight. They've also seen, of course, from the Sunrisers' point of view, that impressive partnership that Speed and Gardner. They can look back on that as the high point. I guess if they can get some better contributions, obviously in the previous match, Villiers did well, so they've had some runs on the top order, of course, in the previous game. But it's a question of putting it together, I guess, in one performance, and particularly when batting first, of course, because last time out they were chasing a relatively modest total, but being able to sort of lay a platform batting first and have a consistent batting display all the way through is something they're going to have to look at, perhaps.
Definitely, yeah. Getting someone in that top order, top 4 to bat through. Build a bit of a platform for the middle order to go and take on in the later stages of the innings.
Well, look, it's been a great pleasure to meet you and to share this broadcast with you. Hopefully we'll do it again. I know Don will concur with that. And given that, of course, you are not that far away, now you've revealed where you live, well, then hopefully there's a reasonable chance of that.
So there's no teaching.
Aha, yeah, well, there we go. So, well, just to say, Carla, thanks ever so much. Carla Rudd, the wicket keeper of the Southern Vipers, who we're back in action tomorrow at Arundel.
I am, yeah.
So you need to go and get a bit of rest and recuperation, and yeah, good luck tomorrow.
Thank you
And
very
You might
much.
well get a bat tomorrow, so
Hopefully
you'll
not.
play your reverse sweep. Well, I know you can depend on your top order to knock off most targets,
Yes.
but we shall see. Anyway, lovely,
Thank you very
lovely
much.
to see you, and thanks ever so much again.
Thank
Great,
you.
Great having you on the programme. So that's Carla Rudd, who's been with us today, and lovely to meet her. And follow her progress with the Southern Vipers, who I guess will fancy their chances of doing as well in the T20 as they've done in the 50 over competition, where of course they were utterly dominant last year. So this game, I think we can say, it was one that, Jenny Gunn and Sarah Taylor just proving a little bit too much. Crucial interventions from both at different points in the game. And Leah Dobson, 44 not out with Sarah Taylor. Taylor with a better strike rate, scoring at 122 runs per 100 balls. But, Dobson played her part, and in the end, the partnership worth 87. And although there was that good partnership, 64, that we had between Gardner and Speed, the problem there was that they had an awful lot of rebuilding to do after Gunn and Graham had really undermined the top order. 48 for 6 they were at one point. They did well to get up to 115 thanks to that partnership, but in the end they had to spend time rebuilding, whereas Taylor and Dobson were coming in at 30 for 2, that's a reasonable position, chasing 117. They just assessed the situation and took control.
Yeah, they didn't need to take any risks, did they? There were bits of the Sunrisers which was pleasing. You mentioned that partnership era in the first innings with Gardner, who was it, Speed?
Yes.
That was a super partnership, it really was. But they were 15 for none, 15 for 1, 2, 3. There was a double wicket maiden, a single wicket maiden, and unfortunately they struggled then. They could only get 116, I think it was, to set them, and that was never going to be enough. And I know you were looking forward to seeing Sarah Taylor play.
Very much so. Never seen her live, so it was great to see.
I mean, she just oozed class. Her first shot, I was interested.
Yes.
She came out at the full of the wicket, and her first shot was a delicate late cut. Now, okay, everyone can play a late cut if you want to, but she had the confidence and the class just to step back, just open the face of the bat and just run it down. And there wasn't a lot of pace with the ball. She knew what she was doing. She just looked class. And there were passages of play where she was moving around the crease. She moved across to off stump. She looked. I think we say, or the fashion or the vogue comment is, she looked different gravy. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It was impressive, and batting with Dobson, all the way across this innings, Dobson didn't get a runner ball, but she was there and she just kept batting. She didn't have any panic stations. She just played and batted properly, and she got 44 in not a runner ball. It was 44 in 52. She never got to equal 100 runs per 100 balls. She didn't get up to it, but there was no worry for her. It was easy.
Just the table. Thunder have got 4 from 1, Diamonds 4 from 2, Sunrisers 4 from 2, and Western Storm have none from 1 so far. Each side playing the other twice. Another difference between the sides, I thought, Don, was the extras, wides. That was a bit very disciplined actually, the Diamonds in their bowling.
Well, that has been a little bit of the Achilles heel in the Rachel Hayhoe Flint Trophy, the amount of wides and no balls.
Yes.
If I look at it, there were only 2 for the Diamonds, and today there was 9 wides, no balls, so 9 wides. Listen, they're getting better on that. They're getting better.
Yes,
looking at the bowlers for me, Villiers, 3 overs, 1 for 22. She didn't bowl badly. Tatana was 3 overs for 16. She bowled, I think she might have been guilty for 1 or 2 of the wides. But I'm actually going to say I thought she bowled quite nicely. Patel struggled tonight a little bit. Certainly 1 over went for about 14 and maybe 1 over for 6. Scrivens bowled quite nicely, 3 overs for 22, got a wicket. Castle 3.2 overs for 19, pretty tidily. And Gardner 2 overs for 16, although I think she was guilty of a few wides. But yeah, the better side won, and the better side won emphatically.
Just looking at the other scores tonight in the Blast, the top of the table clash Kent and Surrey. Kent 191 for 4, Leading got 50 and Cox 61 not out. That's sort of not unbeatable at Canterbury, and Will Jacks is showing that. 62 not out from 32 balls. What a season he's having. 82 for 1 in the 9th Surrey. Those two at the top of the table. Whoever wins that game really is in the pound seats in terms of qualifying. They'll only need to get one more win basically to qualify. So that one looking pretty tight at the moment.
They're two overseas players. Adam Milne, the Kiwi fast bowler, who has a bit of history with Kent, hasn't played a lot of cricket just lately. Clearly, he didn't play in the World Test Championship, but was part of their bubble. And the other overseas player is KS Ahmed, the Afghanistan cricketer, the leggy. Milne can be a decent T20 bowler. KS Ahmed, for me, is probably not quite as strong as Kent would want. So listen, it's going to be an interesting game. They need 110 in 11 overs. So listen, the worry I've got is Surrey don't have as many decent strikers further down the list. Jameson's batting at 8, Atkinson 9, Batty 10, Moriarty 11. It's going to be down to the likes of Overton and Clark. Yeah. Overton has batted very well for Surrey this season.
We've got a result in the one that you were predicting. Sussex beat Glamorgan by 33 runs. It takes Sussex up to 13 points. So that's a useful win because they had a bit of a wobble just recently. Sussex with an unexpected defeat against Middlesex, but they're still very much in contention, back up into 13 points. Somerset, Middlesex, Craig Overton is playing for Somerset. He's got 3 wickets. Middlesex 114 for 6, raining. They need 39 from 4 overs, but it's raining. Overton has bowled out, so it's interesting because Souter is 37 not out, so it's still possible that for Middlesex, but Somerset have fought back with the ball in that one. And you're just showing me a score from the Northern group that we'll come on to, which just underlines the power of it.